All right, well, match 1 in the books, but we're going to get right in to the second match of the day, wasting no time. Here's Cloud9 taking on compLexity. And both these guys have, two different sort of styles of teams, I would say. Cloud9's been around for a while, but, they have new player come 2016 with Firebat, and compLexity have a pretty large roster of players, and they're fielding Crane, Super JJ, and Mr. Yagut for this tournament.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Cloud9 play. Both Firebat and Tides of Time, and frankly StrifeCrow as well, had a lot of success in 2014. And that was back when Last Hero Standing was the official tournament format for Hearthstone. Tides of Time in particular, had a ton of success then and kind of dropped off in 2015, 2016. Wasn't a big fan of Conquest. He has a lot of very interesting ideas and strategies to approach this kind of format. So we're getting right into the picks and bans here. For those of you who may just be joining us, this is a 9-deck format. Each team brings 1 deck for each of the classes, and then there's a round of bans. So each team gets to ban 1 class from the opposing team to start, and we'll take a look at what those decisions are.
Yep. And, okay, Shaman banned away from Cloud9, no surprise, and Rogue banned away from compLexity, so no surprise there as well. Pretty standard bans.
Yeah, and then there's a second round of bans. The team sees the opposing ban for the first round, and then we see, yep, not really much of a surprise. We've seen pretty much only Shaman, Warrior, and Rogue banned. We heard Zalay talking about the patches classes, and also not a surprise, sadly, Rexar continues gardening rather than hunting for all of Trinity Series Week 1.
Yeah, Zalay said it at least once, maybe a lot.
But not once this week. Not yet.
Yeah, not once this week.
He's hiding. He's in stealth, setting some traps maybe for Week 2.
That's why we grade him out. It's to show you that he's in stealth. So there you can see the lineup of Cloud9, Firebat, StrifeCrow, and Tides of Time. So with their 6 classes remaining, they let 1 player pilot 2 of their 6 decks. But as we've seen in the previous match, even though the player is piloting that specific deck, the team is still working together to come to decisions. It is, of course, best of 11, and you can see there their match score. No wins yet, but 6 wins them that match. And we can go ahead and take a look at the team from compLexity, Super JJ, Mr. Yagut, and Crane 333.
Yeah, Super JJ, the best known player on this team for sure. He's had a ton of tournament success recently. Crane was also a competitor at one of the championships last year. Mr. Yagut, probably the least known member of this team, but he's had a ton of ladder success. He's especially known for his rogue play. He's been #1 legend a bunch of times, so may not be the best known player in this group, but certainly no slouch.
Yeah, definitely no slouch. And Crane is a player that, he was known for his championship appearances, and but he's most known for being well respected among a lot of community members for his no nonsense approach to games. He's been touted as being a player who hates tech cards. We'll see if that plays into the decks, but he's got 2 teammates that have to agree on decisions when approaching the deck building phase of the competition. So maybe not so much.
Maybe I have to root for Cloud9 now because I love nonsense.
You're an expert on nonsense.
I'm very pro-nonsense.
Yeah. But Super JJ has also been spending a lot of time with Life Coach.
Yeah.
And in fact, he's been staying in his house for a long time. They've been practicing together. And G2 put up an incredibly impressive performance.
They did.
As well as Life Coach being, just one of the most respected players across the pro community as well as just the Hearthstone community in general. So Super JJ has been in sort of the hyperbolic Life Coach chamber of Hearthstone, the school of learning.
Well, if their communications are anything like the streams with Super JJ and Life Coach, I'm really looking forward to hearing them because those are a ton of fun.
Yeah, and I've spent time with Mr. Yagut and Super JJ together at Caesarea Cup last year, and them when they're together is actually pretty ridiculous. They can both get pretty trolly, similar to Chalky and
Luminosity in the last match.
The Luminosity in the last matchup. So I'm really looking forward to seeing their team dynamic. Cloud9, on the other hand, has been a team that a lot of them have pretty much done their own thing for quite some time.
Yeah, Cloud9 for a long time were more sort of just individuals who competed under the same banner. Though actually StrifeCrow and Tides of Time lived together for a period last year. They've since moved to different places. But this is a team that they have definitely some experience working together, but Firebat's kind of the X factor. We haven't seen Firebat really that much in competitive play, and certainly not working with this group specifically.
Yeah, but Firebat, both of us from having worked with him a lot at the end of 2016 and hearing his thoughts, and he's even tweeted about it a few times. He is really going hard in 2017 to try and be competitive again.
Yeah, he's definitely very much has the fire right now, and he super sharp guy. Obviously, an incredible level of insight into matchups, and as we mentioned, had a ton of success back when Last Hero Standing was the official format. And this so far looks a lot like our first match. Murloc Paladin in the first round. It will be Firebat piloting for Cloud9, while Mr. Yagut is piloting the deck for compLexity.
Firebat going a little bit of a stash there.
Hey, I believe he is in China as well. He was doing, or was he casting from home?
No, I think he's casting. Oh, maybe not. That doesn't look like his normal.
That's not his normal. Normal perch.
Yeah.
And he was doing the solo cast actually from the WESG or the China versus NA. Anyway, we're going to take a look at Cloud9's communications in the early stage of this match.
I like keeping quality just in case some crazy thing happens, and so if he plays Finja, we can just kill it.
Sure. You play. I'm a backseat gamer.
Okay.
Yeah. We're all backseat gamers. The one thing I'm gonna say is maybe consider holding coin, because you can play any fin with coin on turn 9 before them. Like if they start spamming Murlocs, that counters them, right?
I love it. Probably save coin, yeah. We have to worry about Tyrion because, well, we don't really have an answer to that in our deck.
Yeah.
Other than that, we have more cycles than they do for sure because we run all of it. So we should be able to get 2 any fins.
So if he hero power, he could coin Acolyte.
Yeah, I mean, from what I remember, I really used to like just not hero powering here. As far as I can remember.
But do we mind if he coin Acolytes, to be honest?
You mean you want to drop the Doomsday on him then, so he only draws 1 card?
Maybe I would just play Wicca Flame, I'm not sure.
I
wonder.
I mean, I don't
What do
mind
you think,
making the
JJ?
dude, in a way.
I mean, if he plays the coins the Acolyte, they also have to use coin on it, right?
Okay.
So I think the hero core is fine.
Yeah, probably you're right.
Reporting for duty.
And every time they don't do that, I mean, we just want the 1/1.
Stuff like that. Because one player suggests it and then the other ones go along with it. The mob mentality.
No, it sucks that we go second here because they can trade Soul Vigil. That doesn't mean we don't play it.
I mean, I still play the novice, I think.
Yeah.
Purpose here is to do this. I don't think Dude is a good option. I don't think Pyro is a good option.
Yeah, first not Pyro.
I like how Crane was saying, from what I remember, it's been that long since he's played Murloc Paladin in a competitive match, I suppose.
But it's really interesting to hear just the level of conversation strategically, tactically on turn 2. Do I hero power? Do I not? Do I just play Doomsayer? What am I doing? So definitely, a lot of levels to this matchup, and they're not going to let any stone go unturned as far as their evaluation.
Yeah, Cloud9 has the sort of hyper cycle version of the Murloc Paladin with, you can see Solemn Vigil already, which is, a common inclusion, very rarely cut, but sometimes. And a Novice Engineer, which is not usually a card that you see. Oftentimes, if you have cycle at that 2-drop slot, it's Loot Hoarder because it, it better contests a lot of things on the board. But, the immediate draw does have some value in a lot of situations.
All right, well, it will be Wicker Flame, Bird, and Bristle coming down for compLexity. Just getting their minion plan going. Cloud9, they were saying earlier that they were planning on potentially holding out that coin for the very long-term plan of coining out the anything can happen before their opponents, which this is the sort of thing that when you sort of evaluate a matchup, you don't necessarily, when you are not a very, very high-level player, think about it. It's like, okay, what am I going to do turn 9 with the coin? It's usually, okay, turn to turn, what's best, whereas this is a very sort of macro-level understanding of the matchup.
But one thing that they didn't think about is sometimes playing the first anyfin can not necessarily be the right choice unless you already have the second anything
true. Though
available.
It does give the option, at least if it is powerful. They specifically said if they just vomit out Murlocs, we have this available to us if we hold onto the coin. And compLexity now, they could use one of these equalities to clue the Doomsayer and protect their Wicker Flame. They certainly want to at least take into consideration the threat of the Solemn Vigil, because Cloud9 clearly is playing a very cycle-heavy version of this deck.
Yeah, one thing to note is that equality isn't too exceptionally strong in this matchup. It doesn't have that many targets because of the interaction with anything can happen. Since Bluegill Warriors are technically already at 1 health, equality on a board filled with Murlocs, War Leaders, and Bluegills, the Bluegills will get brought down to 1 health, but then brought back up by the buff from the War Leaders, so it won't fully clear the board. So trying to get use out of that early on is actually has a lot of merit, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And did they get the hero power out? They did.
All right, so yeah, protecting Wicker Flame, and this interestingly doesn't really reduce the power of Wicker Flame Burn Bristle too much, but now that their Doomsayer did not go off, let's see what Cloud9 is going to do.
So what are our options? Loot Hoarder, Hero Power, or True Silver?
I think those are the 2 options, yeah.
What is he setting up to do? Why does he want tempo?
It could signify he has Solemn Vigil, but then he also didn't Solemn Vigil on turn 3, right? Oh, but he had a drop on turn 3.
What 5-drop would he play?
I think he just wants to trade in Solemn Vigil. Is it worth it to consider True Silver here instead of Loot Hoarder? Because he gets to take 2 trades and play Solemn Vigils for free? Or is it if we play True Silver, you can't do that?
Also, like,
We can go Power Coin Solemn Vigil next turn too if we play True Silver.
Are we holding True Silver for anything?
What?
Yeah, I like True Silver.
Okay, you need attack too?
Yeah. Harrison Jones is possible.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I probably wouldn't have attacked because you get the heal next turn if you attack too.
I don't think 2 health is very relevant.
Probably Pyromancer plus coin, right?
Maybe.
I don't think it's about that. I just think that they will never have a 1-1 to kill the shield anyways, so they just do it. So the question is whether we play Peacekeeper Hero Power or just Hero Power. But I mean, I'm not really feeling the Peacekeeper too much.
You want a Peacekeeper Tyrion later? I think it's very valuable.
So we just hero power.
Move quickly.
I would, yeah.
Reporting for duty.
Like Peacekeeper is almost even starting to play too much into AoE. That's how silly it is.
It's okay. I think the equality was fine.
Pyro, Loot Hoarder, Coin, Solemn Vigil.
So 5 minions will die to cause 0, and then you can make a 1-1. Is that worth it over Power Coin Solemn Vigil Loot Hoarder? Is that possible?
Are you okay with coining? Also, you could just consecrate coin Solemn Vigil if you really want to coin.
I think equality is more valuable than coin. But I'm not
Quality
totally
and
sure.
Consecrate are better than Coin. Yeah. Yeah, I think you should start making the move. Just, yeah.
Should we kill the Loot Hoarder or no?
If it's possible, I haven't done the math, but if it's possible, I don't think killing Loot Hoarder makes that much sense. Loot Hoarder is stronger than a 1-1 hero card.
Okay, so you want me to make a Loot Hoarder and have 2 cards? So there'll be a Loot Hoarder on the field and I'll draw 2. 3 die, this costs 2. We have 4 mana.
Yeah.
We did lose the Pyro, but...
Oh, shit.
We could have played it for 1, but it's fine. I think it's better to have it be able to be played for 0 and have the presence of the Hoarder now.
A little bit of a complex turn there from Cloud9, trying to decide, exactly how they want to utilize these resources to draw cards. They could have drawn an extra card and swept up the Loot Hoarder. If they had done that, they would have been able to use that second Solemn Vigil for free had they drawn it. But in this case, they're left with the Loot Hoarder on board, so they have something to maybe contest a minion that comes out from compLexity.
Yeah, and these guys a little bit less talkative than our last competitors. Though it is funny because I don't think they're nearly as tired as the guys playing from China.
No, it's actually quite a reasonable hour for most of these guys. Even the European players from compLexity, it's 9 p.m. I think, maybe 10 p.m. In Europe at the moment. Much of Europe at the moment.
All right, well, Doomsayer for compLexity, they're just trying to deny this turn, maybe set up. They don't have their own Solemn Vigil, but I think that Cloud9 is going to be thinking that maybe there's one there. So no reason for them to play anything into this regardless. They can't just fire off the Solemn Vigil that they didn't play last turn.
Yeah.
It doesn't really set much up for compLexity. It's not like they're playing this and getting a free board to play, say, Ragnaros or Tyrion. It does allow them to play Ivory Knight, perhaps, but that still is just being played directly into the true Silver Champion.
It sort of appears as if they, did this play because they didn't really have anything better. This play is not necessarily a good one that's trying to set up or anything. They didn't want to play Ivory Knight because they don't really know exactly what they want yet, should they not get an Anyfin. And also, we would just die to the True Silver and they take additional damage from the Loot Hoarder. So, probably the case for them not playing the Ivory Knight in that situation.
All right, well, it will, just be the Solemn Vigil for Cloud9. Picking up, there's one of the first Murlocs we've seen. compLexity yet to see a Murloc. Another Doomsayer. Well, rinse and repeat if they really want to.
Sure. True Silver Champion's still up. They're pretty much in the exact same position they were last time, except now they have a True Silver Champion equipped. And still not really going into a turn. The coin's been used. And but let's go ahead and hear from their own words what their thought process is going through this turn.
Although Peacekeeper for Zurak, for sure.
Yeah. They also don't have the coin. They used like the Pyro coin, right? So it's not like we're denying an 8-drop. We're denying a turn 7, which is... Maybe we just should play the Ivory Knight.
Don't we make him play a card? He goes to 10 cards if he Doomsayer now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think I like the Doomsayer here.
We can hero power as well since he used both Solemns.
Reporting for duty.
Have the Anyfin.
Nice.
Got 10 cards in your hand.
We can
You can kill the Doomsayer if we really want to.
I like
With
it.
Murloc and Bluegill. Or later Bluegill. But they might have a Tyrion. Like they're Doomsayering into turn 8. And War Leader Bluegill could actually... Or double War Leader Bluegill could actually kill Tyrion.
Interesting.
Quality for Tyrion seems like a good sequence for us.
Well, if we develop the War Leader and the Bluegill and kill the Doomsayer, we're effectively healing him for 7, right? Because, well, not 7, but at least 4, because he can just True Silver charge down the War Leader, trade in the 1/1, and remove all of our development that we had on the turn, and then still just play Tyrion. So we're not really stopping the board state to prevent Tyrion. I don't think we accomplish enough.
We gotta play something. You're at 10 cards.
So that would have to be True Silver.
So you can attack and True Silver.
Yeah.
Don't play hero power. Yeah. The 1/1 made it so your board is so bad after that play.
Yeah, so just Zurak.
I definitely like the rack. As well, like playing the Ivory Knight just means he gets to play his 8-drop, right?
So a lot of, even though the matchup seems pretty straightforward at this point in the game, there's a lot of complicated decision making that has happened and that is about to happen once the Murlocs start to come into play. I like the recognition from Firebat. One of his teammates, I think it was Tides, point out, well, if we develop, maybe we stop the Tyrion next turn. And Firebat said, no, not really. He could pretty much clear off our Murlocs on the board with just what he has, so it's better to just, get a card out of our hand with the True Silver and let the Doomsayer go off once again.
Yeah, and now the Ragnaros is at least a little bit of a threat, but as the complexity team mentioned, there's definitely an Aldor in the opposing hand to deal with this, but not quite enough mana to use the Aldor plus Bluegill plus Murloc Warleader if you want. There still are a ton of options available for Cloud9 here. They have pretty much full hand, and it looks like it's just going to be quality.
They could play Aldor, Warleader, Bluegill, and hit in with the True Silver Champion, which would be a clear. But again, Equality has trouble finding,
great opportunities.
Great opportunities in this matchup because of the interaction with Murlocs later on, and how little threats there actually are. So I like the use of this. This also, buys them sort of a free turn, so they'll be able to do whatever they want going into turn 9. Should complexity not kill this, which using an Equality and a True Silver Champion charge to kill off a Doomsayer, probably not the best. Maybe an Ivory Knight here would be a little bit of a better option.
As we mentioned, there aren't that many good uses for Equality in the matchup, though Complexity already committed one of theirs. So they could use that Equality and then follow up with an Ivory Knight, but let's hear what they're mulling over.
Right.
Yeah, I can see some Vigil, but maybe lay on hands.
Yeah. I don't think we should hold on to both of them, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I could see.
I would hold it really. I think we will get time.
Okay.
Let me think. Reporting for duty.
He goes Tyrion now, we can just play Horse and Aldor when we see.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Last giant.
Alright, we're getting them. We're gonna get them.
Are we hitting it in the face? I think we are.
With the True Silver?
Yeah.
Well, we can hold still. This is our last.
Well, our second anything will be on turn 11, so...
Exactly.
we can
Oh yeah, I guess we can hold.
It makes some sense if he plays Forbidden, the heal card this turn, right? Like, say if he Equality Consecrates Forbidden Healing, then we waste some damage or something. I don't know. Yeah. Power Equality, Forbidden Healing. I don't think you can play Equality
we don't
here.
threaten lethal without hitting him in the face this turn.
Oh, you mean on
an
the
Equality
first
Pyro
save.
doesn't even clear. He needs to use the True Silver Charge and take
Oh,
additional
right,
5.
you're right. Yeah, it doesn't
Because
work
of the
like that.
double War Leader extension.
Yeah.
We don't threaten lethal though, without hitting him in.
So, okay,
the
so
face.
we need to calculate what happens if... Oh, he can only kill one
We can
Murloc
still
here,
hit him in the
right?
face twice, though.
No, he's Tide's trying to kill him turn 10.
Oh, I think it's unreasonable to assume he's going to die on turn 10. He's anything paladin. He has taunts and heals in his hand.
Move quickly.
So
We need to watch out for a sequence where they play anything in the middle of that sequence somehow, right?
Currently, it looks like we have checkmate.
I think so.
We just kill our Murlocs, anything, go face again. Then if they anything doesn't do it, it doesn't kill us, and then we anything and win. So
healed for 6, so it's enter the Coliseum or Dungeon Wrath. So you might have gotten a second at board clear.
neither of those are relevant. I want to trade here and then trade the 1/3 into the 3/3 and anything again.
Yeah, you
Currently, how
want
much
the
damage
most
we have?
amount of war leaders. Yeah, you want to get that res on the war leader so you can have a bigger second anything.
Yeah, and then we swing face with the True Silver into that game.
I agree with that. Yeah, and also you're above 20. If somehow he can, yeah, this is good. I don't think he can get anything.
Well, it looks like Cloud9 has found their way to win. They called it a checkmate situation, but only one Bluegill had died before they played anything. So there'll only be 2 coming from the second anything, but it'll be 4 war leaders. So both those Bluegills would be 10 damage.
A lot of war leaders. They're very big.
Yeah, they are. And good thing, Firebat recognizing the interaction. Board clears aren't really too effective against Murloc boards, or quality board clears aren't effective against Murloc boards.
Yeah, and complexity here in a tough spot. They do have quality Avenging Wrath, but as mentioned, that leaves them at 15 health. They don't have the resources to heal up enough and clear the board to prevent any kind of anything comeback from Cloud9. But they are debating what they might be able to find with this Ivory Knight. Well, there's an anything.
I mean, it's the biggest heal.
Yeah, it is.
They got it.
And they're going to heal as much as they can. Yeah, they actually get to 30 here, which does mean
they're still dead. No, are they not dead?
There's only the 2 bluegills. And at this point, there's only 3 Murlocs.
Oh, yeah?
So because of the heal for 18 that turn.
But they do get 1 attack from the War Leader.
But yeah, that's true.
So it's 29 damage.
It's 27, right? There's
27?
two 10 attacks and then the 7 on the board. Oh, no, but there's 2 more War Leaders come back. Yeah, so it's 20. Is that actually 30?
That's 31.
No, it actually is enough. No,
Yeah,
because
31.
this War Leader is buffed by the other War Leaders. There's the other War Leaders that come back. It ends up being enough. We see Firebat doing some math.
Yeah, it's lethal. The 2 bluegills will be 10 plus the 4 damage from the True Server Champion, plus I believe.
Yeah, the 2 War Leaders that each deal 10.
So this War Leader would be plus 6 more
plus
attacks.
6.
That'd be 9.
So it's 9, yeah.
So it's 30,
29, it's 33.
33 damage.
And Firebat's, I think he's calculating.
Just making sure.
Yeah, the fact that this War Leader gets to attack is, in fact, what makes it exactly enough. Well, more than enough, rather. And, yeah, Cloud9 with a little bit of calculations there. He was, in fact, correct. It was checkmate. And Cloud9 takes the first game in the Murloc Paladin Mirror. It's going to be a repeat of G2.
We'll see. I mean, they seem to navigate that pretty well. And you know, it's hard to recognize those at the end because you're only used to counting the charge damage.
Right. You're like, okay, this is this much. Oh wait, this guy's kind of hanging out. I mean, we did the same thing.
Yeah.
And we were counting it as 3 at first.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, it's not quite there.
It's not 3.
No. It's like, actually, it's for
5.
9.
Oh no, it's 7. Oh no, it's 9.
Angry War Leader.
Yeah. But Cloud9, you know, taking a win with that Murloc Paladin early on, which we've seen is a pretty potent deck. Maybe not in the last series that we saw, but you know, on the first 2 on day 1, it was pretty good. So there's the deck lineups for Cloud9 with Firebat piloting that Paladin deck. They're able to go out to a quick lead, and with a lot of these poor matchups for Murloc Paladin off the board, Shaman and Rogue being the bans, they're in a good spot. So now it's up to compLexity to find a deck that they want to go up against this Murloc Paladin with. Still a Warrior on the board, so that's a possibility.
Yeah, we actually saw this same situation. I believe the bans were identical.
Yes.
In the G2 versus Alliance matchup. That's our first match yesterday, and many of these decks just don't have great answers. There's no really dominant decks that are remaining against the Murloc Paladin deck. We saw it fall against Dragon Priest, actually getting the anything can happen stolen, closing out one of those matches.
That was funny.
It definitely the Draconet operative. I actually think it was. Orange was like, I am so sick of this card already.
Yeah, but we also saw in that series the Alliance decided to play their Warrior deck very late in the series.
That was what was one of the things that was very surprising, and the Warrior very strong potentially against the Paladin deck.
Sometimes you want to be reasonable with what decks you choose to counter the deck you need to go up against, because you may need that counter deck to beat something later on that might put you in a better situation. But if you start throwing out close matchups and end up losing, you lose some of those decks and they become unavailable for play, and then you find yourself in an even worse off situation. So if their Warrior deck is an aggressive one, I would assume that they would probably want to throw it out right now to counter this.
Yeah, in a traditional last hero standing environment, generally you have a deck that you tend to open with, and then you have counter decks that are specific. But in a field this big, you end up having a very different sort of situation, because you have some decks that are strong against multiple decks, and it's a matter of finding the right time to queue them. But compLexity does go straight to their Warrior deck, and we see some Pirates.
Pirates, yes, indeed. And is that a 3 keep from compLexity? 1, 2, 3 drop, not bad. And South Sea Captain, is a card that a lot of early editions of Pirate Warrior wasn't played. But it's super good, especially against matchups where you fight for early board. But it can also be good against slower decks because they plan their removal around, being able to deal with a certain power. And then bringing that power back up can be a big deal. But Cloud9's discussing some mulligans here, so let's go ahead and listen in.
Almost nothing in our lineup except maybe our Warrior. Pirate Warrior beats a significant number of decks.
If they're expecting us to play Mallory Druid, maybe Controller is okay, but not good against Jade Druid.
You have 7 seconds.
Okay, you can do. I don't know what to keep. I would not keep anything though. Yeah, keep Concentrate kind of makes sense.
I'm not totally positive that. No, I am. He kept 3. It's Pirates.
Okay.
Pirates.
We basically needed to kill Frothing, right? That's like the public enemy number 1. Then the early game, something like that.
Public enemy number 1 is Buccaneer.
Yeah. Buccaneer and Frothing. Oh.
That's good.
Should do some math on how we can set up the Pyro Equality Soul Vigil turn.
We have to keep that coin, right?
Yeah.
We have Consecrate and we have Pyromancer. That's just reason enough.
Yeah.
It's very possible Pyromancer coins to play next turn.
Yeah.
And Loot Hoarder doesn't accomplish anything. I'm mulligan Loot Hoarder in this way.
It doesn't hurt us anymore. Go.
Now, do we attack with a weapon?
Good question. We still run double Naga Corsair. You might remove something with the weapon. I don't see the weapon attack yet. I assume we get a second. See it.
Okay.
In the worst case, you maybe miss 1 damage, but that's about it.
Yar.
Indeed. And yeah, Cloud9, we heard them talking about trying to set up the appropriate Pyromancer turn. They want to try to combine their Pyro quality with that Solemn Vigil if possible. Interestingly, we were talking about the ineffectiveness of Wild Pyromancer quality against the Murloc decks. South Sea Captain actually poses a similar problem.
Yeah. And I can imagine, that's going to be the play here. Maybe to try and play around that specific situation, since Cloud9 did keep a few cards, and they still are holding onto the coin. And I also want to point out that Cloud9, we mentioned heavy cycle, but it's a super heavy cycle. They have Loot Hoarders, Novice Engineers, and Blood Mage Thanos, along with those Solemn Vigils. We did also see a lay on hands of their deck, so they're really just trying to get out their Murlocs.
All they do is draw cards.
And aggressively cycle for those Anyfins.
And then compLexity here, they have a number of options with exactly what they want to do. They have the Frothing, which can potentially get pretty big. But the South Sea Captain's protection from the equality has to be on their mind right now.
And that is going to be the option here. It also just pushes more damage immediately.
Smorks real hard.
Yeah, which is definitely has a lot of merit in a matchup where you're trying to get there as quick as possible. So let's count up 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 damage they have available to them next turn with the Cork on the lead. So Cloud9 is going to be on the back foot, to say the least.
Yeah, and as we were mentioning, they can. Well, let's hear what Cloud9 are going to do with this particular turn.
Do you like to play with fire?
Oh shit, does that not clear it?
We're not very good at this game.
Oh no, I just realized after.
It's okay, we set up for Consecrate.
Oh no! Pyro coin and whatnot.
It's fine, right?
It's okay. Just consider kill the Frothing.
This is fine.
No.
We gather information.
Yeah, it clears 5 power. Peacekeeper only clears 3 power. I mean, yeah, I don't really see a way to win anymore anyways, but...
It's always a way. It's Hearthstone.
Yeah.
We get to see if there's a Mortal Strike potentially.
Yeah,
Well, that's a rough one.
Yeah, we were actually talking about, okay, this is a problem for the Pyro quality clear, and Cloud9 forgot. They, had some definite issues there with their work. They're not quite working out as planned. I disagree with StrifeCro and Firebat. They are pretty good at Hearthstone, but things didn't work there.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough start, but that's why they brought the Warrior. If they didn't feel like they had a good chance to deal with the Warrior, then they should have just banned it out. But they banned out the Shaman and the Rogue instead. So at least they have to deal with one of these Pirate decks.
I mean, Pirates are very difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
We even heard Firebat saying, okay, if it's Pirate Warrior, well, that's good against a lot of our decks. So, we're going to see where Cloud9 is going to reach in their lineup for a counter to the South Sea Captain deck.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we're going to take a very small break while we get set up for game number 3. But don't go anywhere, guys. More Hearthstone Trinity Series continues right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hearthstone Trinity Series presented by ESL and Twitch. My name's TJ, joined once again by Brian Kibler, and we're about to jump into game number 3 of the matchup between Cloud9 and compLexity. Cloud9 just had a rough time dealing with the Pirate Warrior from compLexity. And as Firebat mentioned, I guess we're bad at this game because they messed up the South Sea Captain interaction.
Yeah, this has been the first time we've seen the dedicated Pirate Warrior deck on camera. The previous version of Warrior that we saw actually get to play was the kind of Pirate Dragon hybrid, but we saw just the explosive potential and the kind of problems it can cause your opponents who rely on the equality clears.
Yeah, and Tides of Time jokingly said, "Oh, well, at least we set up for the consecration
next turn."
Yeah, but now the big question is, what is Cloud9 going to? What deck are they going to use to try and counter this Pirate Warrior? We heard them talking about it, and they said we don't really have any decks that are super favorites against that particular deck. Should it be pure Pirate aggro? So I'm interested to see what they think is going to be their best choice.
Yeah, if they are playing, for instance, Reno Mage, which we have seen quite a bit of, that's generally a fairly strong choice against Pirate Warrior.
Yeah.
It's not like a counter by any means, but it is generally a bit advantaged in the matchup. Specifically, the South Sea Captain can cause you a little bit of problem, though, because you do rely often on your damage-based removal, sometimes your hero power to clear off those small minions. So if they can stick a board and get a Captain down, it can be a problem.
Yeah, it can be a real problem. But let's go ahead and see. It is going to be the Mage, and it is Reno Mage by the looks of it with Volcanic Potion and Cabal Courier. So We'll see if complexity can overcome this, but that's a turn 2 Doomsayer. There are a few hands that can deal with a turn 2 Doomsayer from a control deck from Pirate Warrior. But it involves some small-time Buccaneers. But let's go ahead and see Cloud9's thought process as they go through their mulligan phase here.
Oh, the weapon, keeping the cultist. The coin.
I can see me keeping one cultist, but
It's very close, but I'm not sure about the cultist without. It's very, very. It's definitely not super wrong to give it away. If you're confident in your weapon drawing skills, you can keep it.
I can throw everything away.
Okay, sure. Let's go.
Yeah, I like it. Fuck the deckhand.
Nice. Good boy, yeah, good. You got this.
Just ends ons.
Ends of is definitely coming down. Probably no coin. He will play. Okay, let's assume he plays Doomsayer, when we probably have to drop the Finlay. Yeah, it's just ends offs and go face. You don't even swing, probably.
Don't swing with weapon, right?
Yeah.
Fly, Polly.
The double captain into the Naga Seed.
Alright, Doomsayer here? I mean, 100%, yeah.
100% Doomsayer. If they clear it, you get a good Volcanic Potion. If not, you get a good Cabal Courier.
Can they even clear it? It's not possible.
Heroic Strike.
Okay, yeah. They had to. If you wait till turn 3, for them, they can coin Cloakron to clear often, you know? That's really bad.
Yeah, ping.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Yeah, Doomsayer.
Yeah, some discussion there about when it's safe to use the Doomsayer. Some matchups you can get away with waiting until turn 3, like say against Priest. But Pirate Warrior and Shaman have many ways that can punish you the longer you wait. So getting that clear is actually incredibly important in this matchup.
The scary thing is how often they can clear a Doomsayer that you just coin out.
Yeah, because
it's like a Buccaneer, and it's like, that's not gonna, that Doomsayer's not gonna live. There's so many ways to kill it.
Yeah.
Now Cloud9 with a kind of interesting decision. They were just going to play the Cabal Courier, but now Arcane Intellect on the draw gives them another option. The Cabal Courier gives them a body that can help contest the board if, for instance, complexity plays something like, say, a Bloodsail Raider or a South Sea Captain, whereas Arcane Intellect can dig them to more cheap removal, which they're kind of lacking. They have some board clears, but only the Volcanic Potion, which doesn't really deal with the middle-sized minions like Berserker and things like that.
Yeah. So gonna dig for more options here. Cloud9, Arcane Intellect to use. Ice Barrier can be a great tool for buying time. So that's going to be a good pickup for them. And a weapon pickup for complexity means they're going to want to start swinging with this Rusty Hook so they can actually find use at that Fireworks as this game goes on. One damage. Hey, 1 damage matters.
It does. It does quite a bit. A Frostbolt means that Cloud9 has an answer to this Frothing Berserker, and mostly what Cloud9 is trying to do is buy time. If they get to the later stages of the game, they find Reno Jackson, they get to the point where they can cast Flame Strike and Blizzard and things like that, the matchup will dramatically favor them. So they're mostly looking to deal with the early aggression as efficiently as they can.
And this is mana efficient also, using up all of their 4 mana. So, Frothing Berserker, Strife Crew said it, I believe it was the last game, public enemy #1.
Oh yeah.
But then, Firebat's like, I think small time Buccaneer is public enemy #1, and pirate enemy #1. He's a pirate, but he's also an enemy to pirates. And Complexity picks up both.
Yeah, so Complexity has a few options here from a mana efficiency standpoint. The Frothing plus small time gets quite a array of threats on the board that aren't particularly easy for Cloud9 to deal with. The Volcanic Potion seems attractive. You can chip away at some of the Frothing's health as well as the small time Buccaneer, but you do pump that Frothing. But Reno Jackson, the draw for Cloud9, that is huge.
Yeah. This is looking pretty grim for complexity already. And we haven't even seen, what, 4 turns in this game.
Well, I mean, this is a game where Cloud9's Reno Mage deck really did what it needed to do. The Doomsayer early, followed by the Frostbolt, and they're really just getting to extend their life here. And let's hear how complexity is going to navigate this game from this point on.
So he's pinging that to set up the Blizzard, I guess. What? Oh no, he's not pinging it. Sure.
So I guess we just play everything.
Is it so, yeah. You can keep the charge pirate eventually sometimes to set up for the upgrade later. Close. You can also just go all in. So Blizzard wrecks you anyways, right? The charge pirate option of provoking. Yeah, I would just play everything.
Yeah, the charge gets the buff as well.
Yeah, but don't forget to attack with the Buccaneer first, before you attack with the weapon. The question is, do we need to attack with the weapon? Let's count. So we get 7 in here, plus another 3. Yeah, we should attack then. Baba, yeah.
Your hand, right? That's
Bring all in. Oh, you mean? I think you just always attack. I don't know. Like, what's the point of holding back? Who knows? But anyways, Blizzard.
If only we had equality. Alright, well. So I feel like it's all ogre for them.
I mean, he can
Wait,
top
that's
deck
right.
Reaper into upgrade.
Uh-oh.
Oh!
Pirates. He's got 10 damage next turn, assuming it's Rogue Strike. It could be Leroy too. And then he could top deck Rogue Strike and hit for 15 max. So still.
Wait, do we want to Cabal first for any reason? No, we don't.
I think that would die.
Yeah.
I will cast the spell.
That's a good one.
Stones, fresh from Kazakis.
Interesting.
Lord J is just some guaranteed healing. I like that more than Kabalaki, which is kind of
2
like
damage.
Kabalaki is just a top like a secret, right, or something.
Yeah.
A combo. I don't think
You
two
only have
matters. He
one
has
secret.
I just like the guaranteed healing too.
You
I
got
like the
Tome.
guaranteed healing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Lord Draxus seems fine.
Lord J.
Lord J.
I've never heard him referred to as Lord J before, but
Strife Crow is a hipster, a naming hipster, but Firebat also playing around maximum possible damage from hand, which would have been Heroic Strike Leroy Jenkins, which would have been 15. So they didn't need the Leroy there. So don't have an Ice Block up. That's something that they're going to need to find, to just win this game 100% basically. But they're still in such a good spot.
yeah, with the Reno Jackson in hand, they are really putting themselves in a position where it's difficult for complexity to legitimately threaten lethal. As they mentioned, they have to have the perfect combination and still don't quite get there, which means that from a mana perspective, they have to do things turn after turn, which also means that the Reno becomes a major threat here because they can't just wait.
Yeah. And they're debating on, whether or not to just throw all of this damage at the face, whether or not to re-equip Fire War Axe, which re-equipping Fire War Axe doesn't do too much because no matter what they draw next turn, they're going to be able to play it. And they don't want to be vulnerable to ooze, so leaving that in the hand is actually much better.
And yeah, I think this is going to be Reno Jackson time for Cloud9. They're looking to be rich and
Not die trying.
looking for the deflated looks on complexity here. They're still in it though. They're still fighting. Nope, just kidding. Nope. There we go. And the pirates have been slain.
Unfortunately. I was getting to be a big fan of the Pirates, and there goes Strife Crow. Goodbye. As he leaves the door, comes back.
I like the hat. I like the hat.
Yeah.
Oh well. Now I need I don't know, Reno's hat.
Does he have a hat?
He has a. Does Reno have a hat?
He has a hat. Yeah, I guess I can get rid of my hook now too.
No, you actually just need that.
Oh yeah, it's my hand now. I forgot. Yeah, so Pirate Warrior out of the way. So that means that Cloud9 will be staying on the Reno Mage. And as we've seen many times so far, that Reno Mage quite vulnerable to the Jade Druid. We saw that matchup twice in the last series, and both times the Jade Druid won. So if compLexity were to have that in their lineup, I can imagine they throw it out now, since Jade Druid doesn't really have any other decks that you want to wait to use to counter it.
Yeah, there's also the option of priest decks if you were to think that maybe I want to hold on to my Jade deck for some reason. But generally, I think that this is the best opportunity to bring out your Jade Druid deck because it's really the best matchup available, and you don't really have that many other matchups where the Jade Druid is like your Stone Cold killer.
Yeah. So, but they might feel like they can hold. I do also feel as though Jade Druid is one of those decks that, in the middle of a series, is the one that's more likely to take like multiple wins in a row.
We've seen that quite a few times.
Yeah, we saw that once in the matches on yesterday, and then we saw it in the match earlier today as well.
By quite a few, I mean 2.
Yeah, well, both teams in the last match.
Both matches involved multiple teams winning games. Involved Jade Druid winning multiple games.
Jade Druid, yeah. So. It won. I think Jade Druid won 5 games in the last match, 2 for Liquid and 3 for Luminosity. So it's been quite successful since with these bans, the meta has been quite slow in the Trinity Series format.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's most likely what we will see. And then, as we have seen, even some of the matchups that are good for, or rather against the Jade Druid deck, they're not open and shut cases. We even saw the aggro shaman go down in the last match when Dog had that excellent draw with the turn 4 Ancient of War.
True, very true. So even in a poor matchup, so it's not set in stone. But compLexity again. During this time, they're just trying to think through exactly what deck they want to use to counter the Reno Mage from Cloud9. We heard a little bit of conversation from Cloud9 earlier regarding Druid. They mentioned Malygos Druid. I wonder if that means that they've actually have a Malygos Druid in their lineup. Malygos, Coon, whatever. It's sort of similar to the Cthulhu Druid, just with Malygos and spells instead. Or if they, were just thinking through options of why they would bring certain warrior decks.
Yeah, I don't know, but we are about ready to get into the next game. So let's listen to the mulligan decisions from Cloud9.
So it's Jade most likely.
Yeah, I made this deck just to grind out other Reno decks and beat Pirate Warrior.
Keep Alex.
I think we just
leaning
want like a
towards
perfect curve, and Alex doesn't help with that.
Well, we want.
I think especially with
Alex, right?
Yeah, but especially with the power spike of how strong Kazakis is, I think go for that. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
You don't like Ooze into just Manic Soulcaster into definitely a Water Elemental into Azure Drake into Emperor into Alex then into Fireball Frostbolt Torch.
I don't like keeping Ooze in man. I'm looking for a full mulligan here.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I mean the two options are go with the 2/3, hope you hit the 4, kind of curve into Alex with coin for the Alex, or full mulligan and try and find Kazakis stuff.
Manic is okay. I just think that you're better off getting like something like a bulk warrior, even because you don't have like
Holy crap.
You can't like curve out like that and then still have stuff left over. It's better to have like curving out with like some of the random discover minions and then having like stuff left over from the discover.
Yeah.
This hand's really good, dude.
This hand is really good.
Yeah.
You're a
I
monster,
just need
man.
an arcane blast.
Ow. It looks like a hand that you would 4 keep, and you 4 mold, dude.
That is I'm in blood. Actually, yeah, even Bludge Mage, right? If you have book, yeah, because you don't want to coin out Courier, and you don't also have a hero power. Yeah, I would 4 keep this hand.
What a god.
What to do?
Raven Idol. Who are these? compLexity, right?
For no one.
Who's playing? Who's playing right now? Do you know? The Druid. Because Druid could signify Mali instead of Jade.
A lot of Jade variants started running 1 Raven Idol recently. But yeah, you're right.
You want to cast a
There's
spell?
more.
We'll keep it.
I want to cast a spell.
That's interesting.
Not
Not a
bad.
bad card.
I've never used that card before.
It's hard to
Pretty
use. I make misplays a lot using.
If you get
Cloud9 pointing out that, Raven Idol, while sometimes a choice in Jade Druid, isn't always super common, especially multiple copies. So trying to decipher what kind of Druid it is, but they are going to see in double innervate
The jig is
Aya
up.
Black Ball. Yeah, the jig is up. But this is a good curve. Double innervate Aya into Jade Blossom into Nourish.
Yeah.
It's actually a really strong curve and one that can apply a lot of pressure.
And specifically, Cloud9 kept a hand that was intended to apply pressure themselves, hoping to capitalize on the general weak turns early on of Jade Druid. Thankfully, the Acidic Swamp Boost pickup, generally not a card that is particularly strong in the matchup, but does at least challenge the Aya. Though, as you just mentioned, compLexity has the curve rolling with these Jades. Jade Blossom here, going to hit the face with Aya, and it's going to be Cloud9 on the back foot already.
Yeah. And even though they use, a lot of resources early on, as I mentioned, the Nourish is going to be able to refill their hand and put Cloud9, in an even further deficit as far as this match goes. We've seen, even with a bunch of resources, that Reno Mage struggles so hard to deal with the multitude of threats as it gets later on in the game.
Yeah, Reno Mage is excellent at dealing with small minions or a couple of big minions with Polymorph, some type of flame lands. But the ever-growing Jade Golems are a lot tougher. Azure Drake actually makes this turn interesting because Nourish was going to be pretty clearly the play prior to that draw. Azure Drake does give another threat that continues to provide some resources here as well.
With the Azure Drake on the board, if it survives, Nourish also has an opportunity to draw into a Living Roots, which can be used for, extra damage removal should it happen next turn. I feel like the minion threat is much more important here than drawing the extra cards. Ooh, a Fandral picked up. So we've talked about many times throughout the broadcast over the past couple of days that putting those Jade Idols into your deck early on is not a good thing, but later on in the game, Fandral can make huge things happen along those lines.
And now Cloud9, in a position they really don't want to be in. They have a bunch of those sort of early minions that they had hoped to play, but now they're forced to play defense. Let's see how they're going to do it.
Also, Emperor doesn't help Forbidden Flame. Whatever going to Forbidden Flame, that's not Drake.
That is true as well. Swipe is a full clear for Water Elemental. You might not have a curve card, but you also might have a curve card.
We're pretty low.
No, even if he curves out with Jade Behemoth, I still think Forbidden Flame is probably better. Like,
If that's the case, then
that well.
the play has to be Forbidden Flame.
Yeah.
But I'm not fully convinced that that's the case.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's too many bad things with Water Elemental too. Because he only has 4 cards, so he doesn't have a wide variety of options in his hand. So he doesn't always have 6-drop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't.
Exactly.
Like,
You
say he
make
has swipe
removal and
Jade
minions
Behemoth,
live.
right? Yeah.
So you widen his range from one subset of cards to 2.
Like, if he just has removal now and no 6-drop, it's good.
Options to Nourish, but I kind of don't like Nourish into Idol doesn't even seem that strong. Getting the hero power honestly is fine here.
I agree. It's a good hero power.
Behold the rage of the Firelands.
That's pretty scary.
I mean, don't have a choice. Unless he draws something, it's gonna be Emperor, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Emperor is definitely our only play. And he's probably just gonna follow up with War. 10-10.
Fine. Courier in the poly. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Well, they do have an Ancient of War, but they also have a Nourish, 2 fantastic cards with Fandral. 10-10's hard to pass up, but it is very vulnerable to Polymorph. So I can imagine that they might be leaning towards Nourish. But, I mean, look at Cloud9's health, 18.
Yeah, they're already under a ton of pressure. This is sort of an embarrassment of riches for compLexity. They are able to pick up a second Jade Idol as well. They could double Idol here or swipe this down, trade both in. A lot of options, certainly.
Yeah, so their Jades right now, 4-4 and a 5-5 would be the Jades, I believe, should they summon 2. And then, they'd probably have to trade off. Maybe not.
you usually want to kill an Emperor. Emperor is one of the ways. I mean, granted, it's possible the Emperor has to just trade in next turn.
Yeah,
that's one thing that's worth noting.
And also,
how many more turns is this game going to go?
Yeah, and also it was only a 5-card Emperor, which isn't too impactful. I mean, it's only 2.5 innervates.
Yeah. They are just going to go with Jade Spirit.
And a trade in. So taking a little bit slower. You can afford to do that in this matchup because, especially with this few cards, the Reno Mage isn't necessarily going to pressure you too often too early.
And the Jade Spirit, it doesn't give as much immediate power as the Jade Idol into Jade Idol left over, but it does mean that the Jade Idols can be weaved in alongside other spells, like for instance the Ancient of War. So let's hear what their thoughts are on the matter.
Like, I was never shuffling 6 of these 1-mana cards into our deck right now.
I think you want to do that later on, right?
Yeah, I mean, and just playing one of them seemed like really bad. I think that you're right, like the Jade Spirit was just better. And the swipe wasn't necessary.
Defender got it. He did the work, guys. He did a very good job. They're somewhere at 5 or 6 mana.
Yeah. I mean, next time we go 5/10 Jade Idol, Hero Power. That's what we want. I think I like that.
What do you like?
I think, yeah, I like the 5/10 Jade Idol and probably Hero Power. I mean,
Do you want to Jade Idol here, really?
One of them, right? At least.
Yeah, I would play one. And when you want a Hero Power, the Felnos, and what then?
I mean, I'd probably just smack him in the face with the rest.
Let's see.
We can also Jade Behemoth, which gives us a 5/5 and then a 6/6.
I like the. We don't want to overextend so much. The 5/10 is very good against Flame Strike. The Jade Idol is also good against Flame Strike.
I think we should save the last idol for now, right?
To just
So
Ancient
the 5.
of War.
Yeah.
Time waits for no one.
That's what I like the most. Trading the 2/2 with the 2/3, I don't really like it.
So just full smog. We can trade it if you want to play around Flame Strike a little.
Okay, sure.
We have lethal next turn.
Looking for ways to potentially win.
What could we draw into? Polymorph?
Polymorph, Blizzard.
Those are the only 2 cards, right?
Okay, I think you start with Coil in the 2/1.
Yes.
I wonder.
Okay, that's good. I'd play that in secondary Bruiser, I'm almost sure.
And you're gonna probably have to freeze the Ancient War.
Yeah. I take a 5-mana Hero. I don't think we're making it to 10.
We can guarantee make it to 10 with Ice Block.
But we're probably going to be at 1 and 10.
I know, we make it to 9 with Ice Block, yeah. Can we win with the 5?
We need the tempo with 5 for sure, because we have Cabal's Tome. We have a really heavy hand.
Okay.
4
4
AoEs
damage to everything, and
5 damage.
I'm not ready.
Plus 4 health to all minions.
I guess.
It's looking grim for Cloud9 here. They're only at 7 mana, or complexity's at 10, and they actually have some outs here for lethal with the Wild Growth. Second swipe would be enough, and I guess that's the only one. So probably not the most likely of scenarios.
Is it quite lethal? If they find a second swipe, they can swipe face, swipe the guy. Oh, yeah, that is exact lethal.
Yeah. I can imagine swipe's going to be the play here regardless. The question is what they do after. Maybe a Hero Power on the Bruiser and then a Jade Blossom. I don't know if they'll feel like they need to. They'd have 1 mana left over after that. The second Jade Idol is crucial.
They can also just attack in with the 5/5 and play the swipe here with the 4/4.
Oh yeah, that's true. Build up a huge board and threaten a lot of damage, but it really doesn't. There's so many good plays here in their situation.
Yeah. This is what Reno Mage is really vulnerable to, is these boards of just big things. The deck is great at dealing with small things like we saw against the Pirate Warrior, but when you have a big board of high health minions, it's very difficult for the Reno Mage deck to overcome it.
I wonder.
So Ice Block is a necessity here. The question is, what do they do after or before they pick up a Potion of
Ice Barrier,
Polymorph?
Potion of Polymorph, Shatter. None of those are really going to help too much. Ice Block is the only thing that gets them through the turn. They're going to go for it, but even then, we see compLexity's hand. They're just going to continue putting more threats down, and frankly, Cloud9, even if they renode after this, are still in just a terrible position.
So compLexity can actually put them in a situation where they have lethal on the board next turn if they use both of these Shade cards. Ooh, and a Gadget's Hand Auctioneer. I mean, maybe they can just keep the board as is and, just start the Jade cycle going next turn with Gadget's Hand plus Jade Idol plus, Jade Blossom, what have you.
It doesn't matter a ton whether you break them at 1 or higher. It does mean that you can, if they break them at 1, then just the hero power will be enough to kill them if they do freeze the board, for instance. So I guess there's some incentive to just play the Jade Blossom hero power face and then send the other guys in. But it looks like they may be going with the Auctioneer plan. This does, of course, make any sort of board freeze do nothing but delay the inevitable, because there's still more out. They're not even going to use the Jade Idol. They're just playing Auctioneer as a body. Hey, why not?
Yeah, I mean, this gives them a lot more mana next turn.
It's true.
To work with, because they know that if Cloud9 doesn't Reno, then they lose.
And even Reno plus Frost Nova here, you just have an Auctioneer in play.
Yeah.
And Bran for Cloud9, not going to be enough. They're going to barrier up and
feign the Ice Block.
Just pretending.
Well, maybe they won't attack in. Who knows?
See Strifecrow just chuckling. Actually, Strifecrow's more of a giggler than a chuckler.
He is a giggler. He's a giggle machine. But compLexity's going to take their time, but eventually they'll come to the realization that all they have to do is attack face with their minions, and they'll win the game. So Cloud9
just test it. Come on, Crane. Just attack with something. They're going to go through all of these motions of an Auctioneer turn, and then eventually they'll attack. Don't worry.
I sure hope so.
Quite the bluff. Maybe they won't attack. Maybe they're afraid it's, I don't know, don't die and kill all opposing minions and make them discard their hand.
Maybe it's 5 vaporizes in a row.
See a bit of a grin on Crane's face. Oh, okay, that's what happened.
The ultimate bluff, yeah. But that's compLexity tying up the series now, taking a win with the Jade Druid. And Reno Mage just can't seem to find a win today against the Jade Druid.
Yeah, and Reno Mage, as we've mentioned a number of times, a very strong ladder deck. But a lot of its strength comes from its power against those decks full of aggressive small minions. We saw it do very well against Pirate Warrior, and it also excels against the aggressive Shaman decks. Those decks are banned out. So we're seeing it go up against the slower decks that give it more trouble, like Jade Druid.
Yeah, and so that deck's going to be eliminated for Cloud9, which means back to the drawing board for them. Not really too many other decks that are in the lineup that Reno Mage, has a hard counter against, but it's going to be one more deck that they're limited for. But we are going to go into game number 5 in just a few moments. But in the meantime, we're going to go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere, guys. More Hearthstone Trinity Series right after this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hearthstone Trinity Series presented by ESL and Twitch. Again, I'm TJ, joined by Brian Kibler right there, and we're about to get to the second half of the matchup between compLexity and Cloud9. It's all tied up 2-2 right now in the series, with Reno Mage being the deck queued up. Reno Mage lost, so it's Jade Druid being the deck queued up currently for compLexity.
And that is a matchup we've seen a number of times so far this week. The Druids just overrunning the Mage control decks with those golems. And now we'll have to see what Cloud9 can bring to the table to beat Jade Druid. In our last match today, Jade Druid got the most wins across all of the classes, and ultimately ended up closing it out for Luminosity. So we'll see what they're going to, and it will be Pirate Warrior. We saw Pirate Warrior earlier, and it was very successful in one game, and then got Reno Maged right out. And this is, the deck that is very powerful against the slower, grindy decks like the Jade Druid.
Yeah, Jade Druid kind of fits a very unique archetype where, it's not really a combo deck. It's sort of a control deck, but it preys on other control decks. And unlike some of the control decks that are popular right now, it doesn't do well against aggro.
Yeah, it's a deck that's more about just continuously generating threats. It doesn't have a ton of answers. It does have some. We do see, Wrath and Swipe, but it is primarily built to beat those slower control decks like Reno Mage. So we're going to hear how Cloud9 is looking to overcome the Jade Druid deck.
I guess the punish heroic strike is good against like innervate stuff.
Yeah.
We already have a curve play. We don't need any more, curve.
They kept two cards, the middle one and the right one.
Yeah. And they moused over the middle one. I think about innervating something. So they have an innervate play.
Like innervate Jade Blossom maybe is the most likely.
Yeah.
For innervate. Then they're thinking of whether that's good because you don't always get to curve out from there.
I wonder.
Oh, it's Jade Idol. I don't know what's to think about with Jade Idol. Why are you thinking about Jade Idol then? Jade Idol would just be automatic and get another one place. Maybe they also have Raven Idol in their hand. Or maybe they also have Innervate. They had some Innervate play.
Yeah, it has to be Innervate that they think about if they are thinking about something.
Maybe that and Innervate Jade Blossom, just thinking about the order. Well, I think that'd be the wrong order.
So...
Do we ever draw?
I think we're supposed to hero power. Like, making the Jade Idol, and then he coins a Frothing, and we have to wait a turn and deal with it.
I like shapeshifting as well.
And it's never a draw, we can pick up Innervate as such. Just pointing it out, the draw is also not the worst, right?
Wrath is just one of the best removals in this matchup, right?
Okay.
I'm just seeing that next turn most likely we go Wrath and Idol, right?
Okay. Sure.
And then we can remove Wrath hero power Frothing in the future.
Yeah, sure.
This is really technical.
South Sea Captain right now pushes in more damage than if
if you.
He's not hero powered again.
I like South Sea Captain because because he doesn't have anything hero power if he plays South Sea Captain.
But we're pushing in more damage with South Sea Captain right now. At least he's not spiking. Yeah.
Captain's better against Feral Rage as well. Which is like the natural turn 3 play, right?
Kind of. I was thinking Feral Rage into Swipe, it's actually worse if that's that sequence, right? Just
true.
Yeah, but I think I like this better overall.
This is better against like Innervate Nourish and Innervate Drake and all that sort of stuff too.
Yeah, ideally you play Frothing on a turn where you just immediately buff it up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot different of a dynamic between these two teams than the teams we saw earlier on in the day, where the teams early on in the day were more, argumentative. There was one player who was always against the other two, trying to find solutions. These guys all seem to be generally level-headed and agreeing with each other.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot more communication going on, I think, on the Cloud9 side.
Yes.
Complexity is more like, I'll do this. It's like, okay.
I agree.
Or, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. Whereas you hear, oh, this because of this and this and this, from the Cloud9 side. So definitely interesting to see how that dynamic works out. And Cloud9 with a big frothing Berserker. There is the tool, potentially, for Complexity to get rid of it with that Wrath. But it does require punching that Berserker in the face and taking 5.
Yeah. Cloud9 has a ton of damage in their hand, just in the part of buffing their Fiery War Axe.
But Complexity's at 26. They do have a lot of ability to get out damage with that War Axe, but they don't have any repeated minion damage right now. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Sometimes you don't need repeated minion damage if your weapon gets big enough.
It's true.
This will be,
and they do still a
4/3 Fire War Axe, then it'll go up to a 5/2.
Oh dear, yeah, this is. All right, well, Complexity dropping the Jade Spirit, and we're gonna see some serious damage coming in here as the War Axe is gonna take out the 3/3 frothing hit for a lot.
Yeah. And they can even play Small Tent Buccaneer. Now, the question is, do they fit in an upgrade here? And the answer is probably yes, because of the fact that they, Captain Greenskin is almost always slated for the next turn. And this is all going to the face. Especially since they use that upgrade, no use trading in any of these minions here.
No, I think they're definitely attacking. They're trying to protect the Frothing Berserker. Because if attacking this, you lose 3 damage to the face because you buff the Frothing Berserker, but you make it so that your opponent has to do something to kill Frothing this turn.
That's true, I suppose. I was staring at the Wrath in the hand being like, well, they're going to remove it anyway. But, we have perfect information. Cloud9 does not. So forcing them to have removal on the Frothing.
And it forces them to use that mana on Wrath. If they have to use the mana on Wrath this turn, rather than, say, developing an Azure Drake. They did pick up a Jade Blossom, which works tremendously well with the Wrath. They can trade off the Jade Spirit and kill the Frothing with the Wrath and develop a 4/4.
Kibler, I just want to smork. That's always my first instinct.
So you go to the dome with Starfire?
I go to the dome. I was on Frozen's team there. I was hoping that he was the pilot of that deck. I was hoping he was just going to do it.
All right, I'm getting him.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting him, this Captain Greenskin upgrading. We got a Reaper on our hands. Went from a Fiery War Axe.
It's even better than a Reaper. It's a 5/3.
It is better than a Reaper.
It's an Ashbringer.
He actually did get it an Ashbringer. I've actually been up against a Rusty Hook that turned into an Ashbringer.
That's rough.
It was real rough.
Yeah.
But
just keep piling on the
but
bus.
Cloud9, they're debating what they want to do here. If they do go to the face, they get them down to 12.
Me no trade.
Well, killing the Jade Golem protects the Captain Greenskin. So let's hear their thought process.
Trading, he has to kill a 3/2 to prevent or hero power. So it's not a really strong lethal setup. So I do like trading.
Even if he nukes down this board, we have a big dude for follow-up.
With both rats gone from our opponent.
Yeah.
In the face too with your weapon.
And it's not like he can nuke down the board and develop, because to do that he would need removal spell plus innervate plus minion.
And
no
then
way
he has 3 cards.
3 cards.
Fire.
Ancient War is 1 card too. It's way
Sorry, I'm kind of jinxing us, huh?
Yeah. Ancient War is
Just let Strife Pro hope for stuff and don't jinx us very bad.
okay. Let's hope they
Try not to inflict voodoo. All right. Good teamwork.
Here, go to 10. If you draw a taunt, we are maybe good. If you draw a Feral Rage, we are maybe good. There's also the option of just swipe hero power.
I mean, that's what I like, honestly. We don't have a Wrath that we can draw. It's literally just the Innovate. But we have 3 taunts we can do.
Swipe Shapeshift as well.
I like swipe Shapeshift.
Like, we also have Feral Rages. So...
Yeah, I mean, if we draw taunt, we still need probably taunt first, but...
Yeah, if we get Beam Behemoth, we might just go there. Even the Feral Rage will give us time.
X marks the spot.
Do you ever hurt Shrink or not?
No.
Okay, makes sense.
It's pretty good for helping kill Ancient War.
Yeah.
Oh, Feral Rage might change things. They were talking about Feral Rage in their little chat there, debating on their play from last year. They couldn't find any Ras with Azure Drake, so they weren't trying to cycle for anything, so they were just needed to deal with the board right then. But Feral Rage, I don't know, maybe it just keeps them alive in this situation.
Fandral. So Feral Rage plus Fandral does let them actually remove something, but does use up pretty much all of the armor from Feral Rage if they do attack into that Bloodsail Raider. And then we see the Heroic Strike waiting in the hand, and even without that, there's 8 damage remaining on the board. They'll be at just 11 life.
Yeah. Not really many other options here, though. So
that's true.
Probably going to have to be the choice. And that will set Cloud9 up for lethal damage, as long as they sequence correctly.
It's true. It is possible that they attack with a weapon first and miss damage, but nope, not going to happen. Heroic Strike's going to seal the deal, and Pirate Warrior takes down the Jade Druid, sending Cloud9 up 3-2.
Yeah, Pirate Warrior taking a few wins in this series, but it definitely hasn't been impressive. It's been banned most of the series that we've watched so far in the Trinity Series. But it will move on to the next game, at least, and it's going to be on compLexity to find a way to counter that. But plenty of options for them, I think.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see them also go to the Mage deck. That has been what we saw Cloud9 have success countering the Pirate Warrior with so far. And just generally, it's a deck that doesn't have a ton of tremendous matchups. In the general lineup, we see Cloud9 here. They won with their Warrior, so they will be sticking with it. We see they have 3 other decks remaining, and then compLexity will be the ones who have to switch to a new deck to beat this Pirate Warrior. As we mentioned, that Mage has had success before. And other than that, they have Priest and Warlock. Those are decks that can struggle, for sure, against the Pirate Warrior.
Yeah, so taking a look at those decks left remaining, if that's a Dragon Priest, also struggles against Dragon Warrior. So it's got to be the Mage.
Yeah,
no real other options.
The Mage is going to certainly be the pick for compLexity. Reno Warlock is pretty much every Warlock we see that can just get run over too quickly. It does have the potential to have excellent draws that can win. Dragon Priest is a deck that seems like it ought to be good against Pirate Warrior, but really just struggles to deal with the early aggression, and backed up by weapons in particular. An upgraded War Axe kills so many things in the Dragon Priest deck that can really force them to just fall behind and not really be able to keep up.
Yeah, maybe they picked a different Mage deck. It's
possible.
We have seen out of the 4 Mage deck, the 4 teams that have played so far, or no, there's been 8 teams that have played so far. The 4 teams that have played so far today, all of them have been Reno Mage so far. Out of the 4 teams that played yesterday,
there was one
freeze Mage. So we'll see, but Reno Mage just feels like a stronger deck.
And I feel like if your strategy is to ban Rogue and Warrior, or rather Rogue and Shaman, you're going to be looking to play the Reno Mage because you need something that goes well into Pirate Warrior.
Yeah, Freeze Mage usually has a good matchup against Rogue.
It does, right. So you'd be less likely to leave up the Warrior and more likely to leave up the Rogue if you had Freeze Mage, and that's actually what we saw from Virtus Pro yesterday.
That's what they did, yeah.
Didn't work out for them.
No, they weren't even able to take out the Rogue. No. Rogue's matchup got a little bit better, though. They got a little bit more early game.
The aggression available from Small Time Buccaneer definitely makes Miracle Rogue much stronger against Freeze Mage than it has been in the past.
So we'll see if Cloud9 can continue this run. But so far today, we've seen very back-and-forth series, especially early on when you have multiple options to counter. So it is going to be the Mage, and Flame Lance is an option that we haven't really seen too much of, but I wouldn't call it an unpopular choice for Reno Mage decks.
Flame Lance is a card that improves Reno Mage's chances in some of its worst matchups, like, for instance, Dragon Priest. Having access to more removal spells that can kill the big minions in the mid-game is very valuable. It's also a tool that improves your percentages against Reno Warlock. Generally, if you were expecting to play against aggressive decks, it's a card that I don't like including. I originally had that in my Reno Mage decks early in the season, but cut it later on as more and more aggressive decks were out there.
Well, Pashes is in charge now. Cloud9 has a reasonable hand. They have South Sea Captain Froth Berserker, which seems to be in every single opening hand for Pirate Warrior so far this game. And compLexity looks... debating on the coin, but Mind Control Tech in the hand and Frostbolt, they should be able to deal with whatever comes out the following turn. Maybe they just want to start getting damage off the board while they can. But Coin has a lot of value in this matchup, I feel.
Yeah, Coin can be quite valuable, especially given that they have the Mind Control deck in their hand. There's some incentive if there's just kind of dopey minions to let them build up. That said, South Sea Captain makes leaving these smaller minions on the board much more dangerous.
Yeah, if they feel like they're going to... Well, pinging this means if Cloud9 misses their turn 2, they have a ping again, they can completely clear the board. Even if they play another minion on the board, they can Frostbolt it. So they do have turns slated if they use the Coin, and they do have minions that they can play on 3, so they don't have to worry about saving the Coin to, maybe get a 4-drop out should they need it. So
one notable difference in Super JJ's draw here compared to the draw that that StrifeCrow had, that he has far fewer of the really powerful early game sweeper type options. He has spot removal, like the Frostbolt and of course the hero power, but without the Doomsayer or the Volcanic Potion, he's going to have a lot more trouble dealing with this wider board that Cloud9 is presenting. So let's hear how they're going to deal with it.
Feels like they have an upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't know. It will also be a minion, right?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Oh, look at this Acolyte top deck board. Should do it right. Contests everything, guys.
Might even get some C-Touch value next time.
That's what I'm thinking as well. He will not address it probably. What do you think, Kren?
It's actually really close, but I think I agree with the Acolyte. And I think if he has a frothing, he's even gonna...
Yeah, he's gonna stack stuff in when we frostbolt it.
Yeah.
Hey, speak to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has to be captain, right?
Yeah, it has to be captain.
Yeah, trade?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, we're start off with going face.
Okay, start off with going face on 2/2s.
Can we kill him before Reno? What influence does this Acolyte
We already
have?
used coin, so yeah, for sure we can.
So it plays around Volcanic Potion to trade because...
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
where
does.
Volcanic Potion.
What
That's
card?
more or less
He didn't
bad.
keep...
He would have
Doomsayer.
played it last turn.
So he's got like Volcanic
Oh,
Potion,
no, I think you
Reno,
need a trade.
Frostbolt.
Their other reason is because if he single target snipes down like Frostbolt
Yeah.
captain,
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
can start
yeah.
trading with your other guys. By the way, we should think over the entire turn before playing cards. It gives them less time to think if we just play everything and then end the turn. You know?
Yeah.
Okay,
Our
okay,
deck doesn't
right.
take that much thinking, but their deck does. So you should,
Alright.
yeah.
Are
Give
we
a lot.
hitting face?
If we play Reaper,
I think we are. I think we're playing face. Yeah.
Yeah. We run Greenskin, which changes things a little bit, but I mean, if we have Greenskin 5-mana 5/4 with just upgrading it to a 2/2 is fine, I think.
Okay, sure.
Oh, sure, yeah, sure. Looks like a pretty sick frothing if you trade to. You can't afford to trade that much though.
Yeah, I think it actually is a double trade here.
Double trade?
Yeah, we trade 2/2 and 1/1 weapon
the
into
thing is-
3/3 and then patches into 2/1.
Oh my.
Play Buccaneer and Friday.
I kind of just like hitting the 2/1 with your weapon and playing frothing and Buccaneer and just going face and leaving out the MC tech. Because you don't need a 10 attack frothing to win this game. He's already at 12 to go face.
So then
You know,
he
and-
trades into Friday and pings.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Okay,
yeah,
sure.
and I like that better.
Yeah, I think that's better as well.
Because Mage can remove frothing really easily with Fireball, Frostful, like all these spells.
And it plays around
Right.
Volcanic
Yeah, yeah.
Potion fine, so...
Yeah.
Blade be thirsty.
So lots of really interesting discussion happening over in Cloud9. One good thing StrifeCrow pointed out, making plays at the end of your turn to give your opponents less time to think. They played that South Sea Captain quickly, which gave compLexity a lot of time to react. Even though their play was pretty much slated for mind control tech, still a great point by him.
Yeah. One interesting thing that Cloud9 may Regret is their weapon attack on the previous turn. They're saying, oh, yeah, you know, you're going to draw a Reaper or something. But they had a Buccaneer and drew a second Buccaneer.
Yeah.
And now, because of the Mind Control tech, we're sort of forced to use their last charge of their weapon. And compLexity has the ability to trade into this South Sea Captain and Frostbolt the Frothing Berserker, which puts them in a situation where they are going to have far less damage than they would if they'd kept that one charge.
Yeah. Still, though, Cloud9 is, you know, very close to just ending the game, even without having a weapon draw. An Arcanite Reaper draw off the top would just, I think, win the game right there on the spot. Yeah, it would. It'd be enough damage. So let's see. It's a Dread.
No, they're a bit short, actually, because the Frozen and the Captain died.
Oh, yeah. The Captain died. I don't know why I thought they were at 10 health.
Well, and now, yeah, they're getting a little bit less damage in now because of that weapon swing. So gave up 2 damage this turn for the 1 damage the previous turn. And the second-rate Bruiser might just give compLexity enough of a window, along with the life gain from the Mistress of Mixtures, to get to that Reno in their hand.
Yeah, there is a few. I don't know if there's anything that could win the game here. They're going to have to trade in, but they're leaving the 3 up, so.
And no weapon for the Naga Corsair either. So, you know, Heroic Strike plus one of these minions takes out the second-rate Bruiser, but they only have, what is that, 6 damage to the face, not nearly enough, and it's going to be Reno time.
Now, they do have a board,
yeah, they have a lot of
Reno, which means that, you know, a weapon draw next turn is still huge, and they'll still push a lot of damage.
Oh, Blizzard too. That's actually... Is Blizzard better than just playing the Reno this turn? It clears off a lot of the damage, freezing the Corsair. Yeah, there's actually no lethal. We're hearing compLexity thinking about this turn.
Tilt a little. Haha, Blizzard! On top, of course.
Just hope he doesn't get a frothing cork run this turn.
Oh,
Fine. It's fine.
Oh yeah, give us this 28 juicy. Oh, I feel so.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh.
That's really good.
Greetings. And when we oh, is someone rich?
Gonna be rich.
Roleplay.
So sick.
And the Blizzard was...
Oh,
we should show him mid defensive armors, maybe if you can.
Yeah.
If you can.
That's also what I think. Feels Ronald, man. Feels Ronald.
We should make sure we win, though.
Yeah. So if you have to play Sylvanas, I guess we play Sylvanas instead of Medivh. I'm not sure.
Don't know.
What do we rather show them?
I think Medivh because is it so? Yeah. Sylvanas is way scary, or like Medivh is way more obvious to have in a deck.
Medivh, I think Medivh also kind of like that one actually seals it if we play it, and
Yeah,
I think we should really just make sure we seal it.
Yeah.
So yeah, save it.
Maybe we get Kazakus from the top to show him who's the boss. A game. So glad of join me. It's a kind of a gem, he says. He's a good game master. Look at him.
Well, JJ gets a lot more energized when he's the one piloting the decks.
He does, for sure.
Definitely fun to watch.
Yeah, and now Cloud9, you know, they were scraping through the early game. It looked like they might quite be able to get it done before Reno, but no, sir. I wonder how this game might have played out differently if they had not used that one weapon charge.
Yeah, one weapon charge.
Because it ended up costing them damage on their Buccaneers, multiple attacks, as well as the Naga potentially being able to upgrade it as well.
Yeah. So they still have that Atiesh. Is that how you pronounce it?
Atiesh, yeah. Basically, my favorite card in Hearthstone right now, I think, is Medivh. It's just so fun.
Yeah. It's very powerful if you can get it off while you're safe.
It's always particularly fun. Oh, I wish that he had cast Flame Lance, because then he could have gotten Summoning Stone, and then it would have been really fun.
And it would have been too fun. That's where I stop the fun, Kibler.
Who knows what secrets?
The Tempo brand. This is when you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, Cloud9 is...
I mean, at this point, Cloud9 is just trying to dig for information about this mage deck. We heard compLexity talking about, okay, try and not play these cards if you can avoid it. We don't want to give away information about this deck. And Cloud9, similarly, they can't win this game. They if they were playing on ladder, very likely would have conceded as soon as Reno was played. But they're going to go up against this Reno mage deck again, so they want to get as much information as possible. Come on, Summoning Stone.
Well, they don't have any more spells.
They have a Flame Lance.
Well, they'd have to use the Flame Lance.
Yeah, but I just want to see a Summoning Stone.
Oh, okay.
Sweet. They can't do anything with it, but
they could Flame Lance,
it's
get a Summoning Stone.
At least it'd be in play, and then when they draw their next spell, it would be really exciting.
Always hopeful, Kibler.
Yeah. Got to dream big, man.
Yeah. I suppose. It's got to be Flame Lance. Let's take a look-see.
Ooh. Well, they're not going to need too much more help after that one. Leroy getting 6 more damage to the face.
They should attack face with ATS just for...
Just send a message.
Demoralization, yeah.
Blood and plunder.
Ooh, Kazakis. Speaking of demoralization, we're going to get a 10. Oh, no 10.
Well, let's hear their thoughts.
Armor, what do you think?
Just summon some minions, man. Kill
We
it
want
fast.
demons.
We didn't play Doomsday, right? No, so...
No.
We even traded the rubbish first and we still got Reno. Nice.
I got Kazakusan.
All right, well, compLexity taking this series. Looks like, they got a bit more, pep in their step now. That they're starting to have some fun. They're playing the fun decks. You can tell this is where JJ feels at home.
Yeah, Medivh's fun.
Yeah, feels Ronald, man. JJ dropped that one towards the end of that match.
He was doing his little dance there.
Yeah.
I got Reno and Kazakis.
Somebody rich? Yes, JJ.
Oh, it's me.
You're rich. Yeah. But we're going to set up for game number 7. But in the meantime, we're going to go to a very small break. So don't go anywhere, guys. The series continues right after this. everybody, welcome back to the Hearthstone Trinity Series. We're about to jump into game number 7 of the series between compLexity and Cloud9. And it's Ronald Mage once again in the matchup. And I can imagine it's going to be Druid once again, Kibler.
Yeah, and we saw that there were some very different decisions in the build that Super JJ brought compared to some of the other ones. The Sylvanas is a card that can very much stand out in the Druid matchup in particular, and Medivh as well can let you sort of turn the corner and become the aggressor in those matchups.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of a different story in this particular Reno Mage versus Druid matchup than ones we've seen in the past 2 days. But we also haven't seen the Druid deck from Cloud9, so that could be something a little bit different. It may not necessarily be Jade Druid, even though Jade Druid is the most likely.
Yeah, we did see the Aviana Kun Cthulhu, which was really powerful against the control decks, as we saw yesterday.
Yeah. Also, it was super cool.
Oh, yeah.
They went off on a turn, and not only did they draw like 12 cards in their deck, they killed their opponent plus the entire board, which is pretty crazy to see. That deck, given enough time, can do even crazier things than Jade Druid. But to get a little bit more insight into the mulligans, let's take a listen into compLexity's comps.
Just keep the Acolyte, right?
Yeah, just keep Acolyte.
Yeah.
You don't need Ice Block or Dirty Red.
Do you just risk the pain? I guess you do.
Yeah.
Snowball early too? Like it's good too, or not?
No. You can have Ooze from Medivh.
Guardian. That's true. It is a value matchup.
Twilight Guardian might look very poorly against their fours.
If you don't play minions early, it's not weak to Doomsayer either, really. I don't know. I think you should keep Guardian, though.
Yeah, I like Guardian. Okay. Bookworm's fine. I don't like rushing them down. I like outvaluing them.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. I almost like keeping a higher mana curve than if you go by that strat, huh?
He's keeping one card. There we go, we got the Ooze. We can beat Medivh now. That's huge.
Yeah.
Alright. I need a bigger desk so I don't have to keep moving my keyboard out of the way to write stuff down.
Just giving them some rope medicine.
Well, I just reorganizing my desk setup. I'm not trying to BM or anything, or try and tilt them. I'm just.
It's not wrong to BM them anyways. To tilt them.
Well, we know what Firebat is playing for. The desk fund.
Yeah. Buy a bigger desk so he can write things down without having to move his keyboard. Which also apparently digs into his Hearthstone time because
he roped a little bit there. Like click end turn and then do that?
I forget about it all the time, especially when I'm doing still a little bit different.
I've definitely been in a game and just been thinking, why isn't my opponent doing anything? Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
I haven't clicked end turn yet.
Sometimes I'll queue up a Hearthstone match and then forget and minimize, and I'll come back and I miss mulligans. And
I've done that. I've done that more times than I really feel comfortable with.
Then just act like I roped a 4-keep. Give him the old greetings.
Oh, huh.
Yep. Well, Cloud9, a couple options here. Shadow Word Pain, or looks like they were mousing over Coin Blackwing Technician. Coin Blackwing Technician would delay their Twilight Guardian, but they do have plays for the following turn, including Power Word Shield plus a heal should they need to kill something, or Power Word Shield plus Shadow Word Pain. So it looks like they are going to get the power on the board right now.
Yeah, and we heard them talking about how they kind of like to play the game a little bit slower, not try and rush down and run the risk of being vulnerable to Doomsayer, and that they're taking it a little bit slower, not trying to just get their Twilight Guardian out, but they don't want to just get this let this Ooze run the tables on them. And the fact that they have the Shattered Pain in their hand does mean that a Doomsayer is less potentially of a threat. And they also have, like you mentioned, that Power Word Shield, which can buff up whatever it is that they do deploy. And Let's hear how Cloud9 is going to respond now that the board is clear.
Sure.
That's good. You want to shield that, right?
100%, yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good. That's like one of the best targets to shield. It's public enemy #1 in this matchup.
Now he's gonna polymorph it. I feel.
No way. Fireball maybe. I don't think polymorph. Although actually, it's like almost the same.
Yeah.
Said, if you acolyte, I don't know. It's kind of bad to pain, right?
Yeah, the thing is, like, we kind of curve Fireball into. It's very much a value matchup. Go for the value game for sure. With the Flamelets, we also have another big address.
I like the fireball.
Crane?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we just don't even fireball it. I mean, there are a lot of good. Nah, I think we should.
You should, right?
Yeah.
Because we also curve out. It's like, yeah, it's not too cool, but also
Like
you
if
have
you
to
don't
think.
fireball now, he will play another minion and then trade into our acolyte, draw cards.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Flamelets is kind of like a fireball, right?
Yeah. I think we just fireball it, guys.
Yeah.
Some super insight from Cloud9 on their turn. No talking, just, okay, Firebat knows what to do, but compLexity discussing, the Fireball and the Northshire Cleric, which is, actually a decision that's tough to make, but one that Super JJ realized right away. It is a value matchup, and that Northshire Cleric can cause a lot of issues.
He was rubbing his hands together as he draws Azure Drake, the foe of priests everywhere. But I also thought the insight from Cloud9 was pretty entertaining, with StrifeCrow once again naming another minion, public enemy number one.
We'll ask him later. What really is public enemy number one, StrifeCrow?
It's Small Time Buccaneer. In the grand scheme of Hearthstone, it's Small Time Buccaneer these days. And yeah, Cloud9, both teams recognizing that this is a value-based matchup, does not want to offer additional card draw with that Acolyte. But compLexity, they have a number of cards that are excellent in this matchup. It normally does tend to favor the Priest deck, but the Sylvanas, which they concealed in the previous game, they wanted to hold on to and not reveal it, can be a big problem to Cloud9 here.
And Tomb was a card we saw.
That was out of
Luminosity's deck, their Dragon Priest deck.
Yeah, we actually see Cloud9's list looks like a fairly typical ladder version.
Mm-hmm.
We see the Holy Nova, we see Acidic Swampooze. Those are cards that are in the kind of staple versions of Dragon Priest that you see on ladder these days. However, we've seen a lot of variations. We saw Silence from Team Liquid. We saw the Entomb from Luminosity. So a lot of teams adapting to what they expect the metagame to look like in this particular event.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this version is, that great in this type of event, especially since they're banning away Shaman and Rogue, because usually they're not going to use this deck as a counter to the Warrior. Maybe it's sort of a backup counter should their mage get run over. Oh, running out of time here. They didn't get the Mistress of Mixers off, but they should probably be pretty happy about that, because it would have gotten swept up in the Holy Nova pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm actually a little bit curious about the decision not to play the Sylvanas there. It's excellent into those two minions, but we'll see how Cloud9 are going to navigate their turn.
It could only be Mistress.
Yeah.
True. Well, you could hold on to it for brand value potentially, but
True.
Next turn is about Flame Strike and Fireland Swirl mostly.
Mm-hmm. So what's the best way to set up against both of those?
I'm leaning towards attack and Holy Nova, but
Why would we not do it?
it doesn't set like that great against Fireland Swirl, but then your double Worm Rest move sets really bad against Flame Strike, and it's not like that bad against Fireland Swirl.
All of my plays are bad against Flame Strike.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is fine against Flame Strike. Like, I don't think Mage ever Flame Strikes this board. I think he's Priest. It's not enough value.
This was actually fine.
What do we do?
Yeah, I still don't like Sylvanas, to be honest.
How long can we wait? Probably a little longer, right?
The upside of doing the Sylvanas play this turn is the Bran Azure Drake next turn. I'm just wondering if Bran Kazakus is needed in this matchup.
It's needed. If we ping the Twilight Guardian, we force him. So what do you think about Mistress? Ping?
So you don't want to play Azure Drake?
I would play a Drake.
You would play Drake? Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, let's play Dragon. Oh, it's also good. So we play Mistress now, right?
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah. The MC tech.
They seem to be struggling a lot to come to a decisive conclusion on their plays here. Someone will mention something at the very end and they'll be like, yeah, all right, yeah, let's just do it. Azure Drake, okay. They were debating Sylvanas the whole turn. Sylvanas would just get sort of traded in on the board, like trade in the Twilight Guardian, trade in the Azure Drake, but it is a way to remove and try and play that value game.
Yeah, it seems like their goal is to try and find a bigger board where they can't just 2-for-1. It does better than that. Though Cloud9 is being a little bit judicious about how they use their resources. We heard that they were very concerned about the possibility of a Flame Strike, but didn't have any good plays around it. And now, well, there is Kazakus, and we see celebration from Super JJ. Let's hear what he has to say.
What do we do? 10?
I would say
I like
10.
the big boys. Yeah.
Friendly minions. And health. Guys, health.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, holy shit, it's haunted.
What now?
Do we maybe go for 5 now?
I think so.
Since we got an insane 10.
Yeah, I would go for 5.
I don't mind it.
Suck AoE, no. Oh man, 5/5?
I like it the most.
Yeah, 5 on AoE, go. Fuck no. Oh, but it's fine.
Yeah. Yes, summon.
Time runs out on me.
I mean, obviously it's greedy, but it's fine. I think it's fine.
Another dragon. I think Bookworm is better than Pain.
Bookworm trade heal.
Which one do you Bookworm? The 3/3, right? Yeah.
Of course.
Bookworm is nice because it doesn't die to Flame Strike either.
Or the Kazakus potion. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get 110.
You could also.
Sylvan heal. Holy moly.
Yeah, I think you're right. Honestly, you're right.
Yeah.
For a moment, I was thinking about the Kazakus potion, but it should be better this one. It also gives the pool of, like, the graveyard becomes so much better.
So what died in this game? Mistress, Ooze, Acolyte, Bran,
Kazakus.
Pretty good stuff.
Azure Drake, second Bruiser.
Not that great.
Huh. They actually were very excited about their Kazakus potions, but they're very greedy, as Crane mentioned. There's no damage or board clear attached to it, so they're relying on their other clears and then these to present a very threatening board. Their 10 potion is summon 3 friendly minions that die this game and give them +6 health, or give your minions +6 health. So we'll see if they can make good use of that, because they have had a lot of small, not super impactful minions die. But, are they more impactful when they have +6 health?
They were able to play the Sylvanas here, which gives them something very strong that they can potentially try to bring back. Though it's not clear it'll be dead by then. And they also have the mind control tech. So if Cloud9 goes wide on this board, they're in really bad position. Oh, and we see just how excited JJ is about the possibility of this potion. He's doing a little dance.
Yeah.
And we see Cloud9's kind of struggled this game because they've drawn a lot of the low impact cards in their deck. They have removal, they have the ooze, and but we're gonna see what compLexity has to say about their powerful options here.
Oh, how was
We
it?
get health on it, dude. We get health.
Oh yeah, we get health on it. You're right.
Dude, the power. Oh, so no, not curse here, right? Oh no. Yeah, it was it was a good mood cursing, guys.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Let's see.
Now we get all the spawns. Oh, Acid Drake. Super sick. No, the Acid Drake. Super sick.
That's it, right? We know the tech.
I think we wait. I don't think we attack.
Yeah, we wait, right?
Yeah, I don't
also
want to
don't
attack. Yeah.
We have to go for it here.
Brand Nether Spite, and then
We can
Shadow
get
Pain.
operative from it, hopefully.
Oh yeah, operative.
Once upon a time.
Well, Sylvanas is gone, so Ysera's the pick.
Yep. Ysera for sure. Better than Carmagus. No operative. Got a
Ezra
Zerdrake.
Drake. I want to play Ezra Drake this turn, I
We
think.
need to cycle through.
I don't think we have time to play Malagos. We don't have any AoEs remaining though, so ignoring
No
this
spells
board.
for now, guys. This is a bigger minion, but right now we're losing on tempo on the board.
Are we not Shadow Painting this turn?
You know,
I would not Shower Pain this turn over Drake.
He has Flame Strike and Blizzard left.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
scary.
true.
What are we trying to draw into?
Blackwing Corruptor and such.
Dragon operative, yeah, no
Yeah.
boost right now.
Right.
It is strong.
Guys, I will just MC tech my way to victory here.
Yeah, I don't even think we kill the 2-4 first. I think we just go MC tech this. Oh. Yeah.
Wait, do you have
Okay.
CT and some Flame Strike?
Yeah. I would. Why not?
Yeah, why not? That's the question.
Yeah.
We use double hole, you know, and probably not even running.
Meow. And now we are the aggressor, Mr. Dragon. What do you say to that?
Well, time to find out.
16. He's used one Fireball, no Torch, no Frostbolt. He has a Kazakus potion that could kill us.
Maybe just start trying to discover one of his cards.
I think we're always operating here.
What about Chilma?
Chilma.
I wonder.
Still has Poly, it's a little weird. Okay. What are we looking for off operative though?
I don't know about Chilma. We're just looking for information. Game's over.
Quickly.
He runs Flame Collar. That's notable, I guess.
Once upon a time.
Shattered Pain the
Wrong Deathwing.
mistress.
Well, it's looking grim, and you can hear in their voices that they're having a lot of trouble finding any way to win this game. Wrong Deathwing is right. Maybe Deathwing would have given them a chance, but even then, probably not.
Yeah, they're dead.
They're pretty much dead.
Yeah, I mean, and this was really a matter of the wrong cards coming for Cloud9. This is usually a matchup that is advantageous for the Dragon Priest, but you need to be able to actually be putting on pressure. You need to draw the cards in your deck that are high impact, not low impact. And you know that ooze, obviously a great answer to the Medivh we saw compLexity just draw, but it's just sat in their hand the entire game. So once the Reno Mage gets going, Kazakus overpowers just about anything the Dragon Priest deck can do.
And this should be the concession here from Cloud9. Might try and cycle through something with Northshire Cleric.
Get some more information maybe if they find another operative. And that's really what they've been playing for. And this is something that's interesting in this style of event. You know, we've seen a number of teams do this. You know, they recognize that a game is over from a really practical perspective, but they're trying to figure out, you know, what edge they can gain for the rest of the series despite that.
Yeah. So gate number 7 goes to compLexity, so they take a little bit of a lead here. And, you know, that's pretty good for them because that means they've swung the lead around. Now it's sort of on Cloud9 to be the ones to come back since that was supposed to be Cloud9's deck that was, you know, meant to counter the Reno Mage from compLexity.
They do still have their Druid,
they do.
Which, as we've seen, tends to be very successful against the mages. We see compLexity there. They have their mage and priest and warlock remaining. They have 4 wins, so only need to win 2 more in order to take the series. While Cloud9, they're in a bit of a tighter spot. They only have a couple of decks left, and they're going to need to overcome this Reno Mage, and they have 3 more games to win with their Druid and their warlock.
Yeah, so, you know, we can guess that it's Jade Druid, but they did throw Priest out in the last matchup, so maybe their Druid, they have something different in store with their Druid deck, but they've pretty much been sticking with, you know, the normal decks, maybe with some interesting tech choices, but the standard decks for each of these different archetypes. And, of course, Warlock, almost always Reno Warlock. We even heard, I think it was Tice gave insight saying that even if Zulok was, you know, okay, Reno Lock would probably still be the best deck because of the fact that it's got more, you know, counter-style decks just better currently.
Yeah, Reno Warlock has a lot of excellent matchups, and particularly against a lot of the decks that do remain after the ban phase. The Zoo has kind of fallen out of favor in large part due to the weakness to a lot of the aggressive decks. It's pretty poor against Shaman, it's pretty poor against Pirate Warrior. If you can ban some of those, well, you still probably want to play Reno Warlock because it's just good against the decks that remain as well.
Yeah, just super good. So probably Druid will be the choice for Cloud9. But again, it depends on what they're going to pick. I'm so curious to see how things are going to evolve because this week it seems a lot of the decisions for decks seem pretty cut and dry. But once players get an idea of what the popular archetypes are for each individual class, maybe we'll see things, you know, shaken up a little bit.
I expect the metagame to adapt. I think that once there's sort of predictable bans and predictable decks, you're going to have people taking advantage of that. They're going to think that, okay, well, you know, there's a lot of slower controlling decks, so maybe it's time to bust out that Hunter. Maybe, you know, because you're able to ban away a lot of those decks with the pirate package, the early weapons, maybe it's time for Alley Cat to get in there and and you know, give some
Reno Hunter.
No. I tried it, man. I tried.
You're supposed to be the purveyor of fun here.
Well, if you were going to play Reno Hunter, you play the Reno version because it's strong against the aggressive decks. Reno itself is relatively strong, but I think that if you're looking to play a Hunter deck that is targeting the slower decks, you have a lot of powerful options, whether it's a Scavenging Hyena type deck or whether it's an Azoth deck. There's a lot of things you can do with Hunter if you're targeting a specific thing. You just can never actually beat Pirate Warrior.
Yeah, Hunter has the second strongest rat card in the game with Rat Pack. 30 rat getting a little bit more play than
and it will be the Druid, and Alex Straza already showing us that this is not Jade Druid. This is going to be the Malagos combo Druid with Aviana Kun. We saw a version of the Aviana Kun combo played yesterday. That was the Aviana Kun Cthulhu deck, which we determined would make an excellent band name. And this is a different version. It has sort of a smaller combo package, more cards that are individually useful, but it doesn't have quite the same tools like the Coldit Oracles that are powerful in these control matchups to help, you know, overdraw your opponent and fill your own hand.
And it doesn't have infinite stuff like Jade Druid. It can suffer from the fact that, you know, you might need to use all of your stuff to get the mage down, you know, to ice block popping
and
stage.
I actually think in this matchup, the Malagos version is probably worse than the Cthulhu version. The Malagos version, as mentioned, has, you know, more cards that are independently valuable in other circumstances, but because it relies on a bunch of spells for its kill, it can actually potentially lose to a Ice Block, Reno, Frost Nova U, and say Kazaka's 10 Potion to wipe your board.
You're not left with as much stuff at the end that's, you know, impactful post Reno.
Trust me.
Should that be the case.
You're also not going to burn their cards out, which can be very relevant in some of the control matchups with the Oracle version.
Yeah.
But we're going to see, this is a pretty standard control versus Druid game, a little bit of ramping. Incidentally, the Misters of Mixtures actually kind of relevant here. The damage from the mage is pretty important because they don't have inevitability on their side. Usually when you're playing Reno Mage, you just want to have the game take as long as possible because when you're playing against aggressive decks, you have more powerful stuff. That's not true here. This is a matchup where you actually have to close the game out because the Druid is the one who has the powerful end game.
Yeah, Cloud9 debating on Raven Idol here. Could be saved for use with Gadget and Auctioneer, but they really have nothing to play this turn. They got 2 Jade cards in a non-Jade deck. You know, Jade cards have made Raven Idol be not quite as potent in the non-Jade decks because they're sort of diluting in the
Blossom's still good here. Yeah. You're still interested in ramp, I think. And Wrath, if you're looking to potentially cycle on this Mistress of Mixtures. But looking at Cloud9's hand, you know, they have the Auctioneer, so getting more mana as soon as they find some of those cheap spells, they can get going.
They could also feign that their Druid deck is a Jade or a Jade deck because, you know, Jade Blossom could tell compLexity, oh wait, this is a, you know, they want a Jade and they want a ramp.
And compLexity here, they have a few options. Can go ahead and clear this Jade off, potentially heal that up with the Earthen Ring Farseer to ensure that there's no hero power taking it out. And exactly what happens. And now Cloud9, they find another Raven Idol, so it's an option. They could clear off the board if they want with Swipe. As mentioned, you know, this is a matchup where the Druid is the one under pressure. So removing this board is doing 5 a turn. You know, is an attractive option if you're looking to play for a very long game. Let's hear what Cloud9's thoughts are on the matter.
Because Mage doesn't carve out minions that often, and Mage wants to take minion trades against Druid. Like their ideal is taking the minion trades against us. You know, he likely misses 4-drop. Even if he plays Water Torsion, it's fine to.
Okay.
But on the flip side, we want to save Swipe for Malygos.
We have Raven Idol for another, and we have enough. This matchup is not about OTK as much because of Ice Block. It's more about like Aviana Kun and playing a lot of minions. You know, yeah. I don't need that much burn.
We do need to save the second swipe, though.
Yeah, second swipe.
Just in case we fall behind on court.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
You just played a Vandal here, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it could easily still be the Jade, but just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, maybe I'm
They only
afraid of
have
getting pressured.
That's a card.
Good turn 7.
I like that card more. Yeah, I like Ancient over here.
Good analysis.
Okay.
Digging deep on that one.
Coin Sylvanas.
What do we do if he trades into Vendor and passes?
Blame lands are... maybe not.
I guess we just trade Azudrix then? Is it good enough?
I mean, you get a 5-2, guys. If he has, first of all, he has to address 5-2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It must be Silver anyways, right? It's just...
Yeah.
Silver's just the play.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll figure out what the next turn's play is, I guess. I mean, if he passes just to play around Sylvanas here, it's even good, right?
Well, he could nourish into pass, so yeah.
Yeah, it's true. True.
Showing the strength of Sylvanas a little bit in the Reno Mage deck. He gives him sort of that extra layer of protection against big stuff. And Ancient of War is one of the few big stuffs in this Druid.
There's actually a lot of big stuffs.
Well, there's big stuffs, but all that big stuffs wants to come out at the same time.
It's true. It's one of the few things that you're looking to play early on. Well, turn 7, turn 6, not necessarily early on, but well, Cloud9 looking to make a sapling trade. But no. And there's JJ's little dance once again as things go exactly his way.
JJ's little dance.
That is not good for Cloud9.
No. They did pick up another Ancient of War, though, which will be good for the next turn since compLexity didn't have, like, an exceptionally clear way to answer the first one. You know, Sylvanas is a great way to deal with Ancient of War, but it would have been a great polymorph target as well.
And they do that Flame Lance, which is one of those the non-polymorph backup big minion killers. And anyway, let's hear what compLexity has to say about this fortuitous situation.
He's thinking about attacking it, maybe? I kind of like Frostbolt, Ooze, Ping.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree.
And then face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not addressing 1/1s. There's no way.
Especially with C-Tech in hand.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of don't imagine that there's gonna be 4 minions on his side of the board after this, but it's kind of...
I think we're most scared of polymorph at this point.
Oh, for sure. He didn't have polymorph though.
Yeah, you might have thought about it. I mean, Sylvanas was pretty fucking good there.
It's past here? No trading with the 1/1s, right?
Right.
Only for brand MC Tech, I think it's unlikely. The 1/1s can help trade for the ooze.
It's not good.
Yeah, I think the Flame Lance is just better, honestly.
Yeah. I don't think you have to risk it. Like, I don't think you have to take a 50-50.
And we don't know what he has in his deck, right? Like,
He might not be face, right?
Samuel knows that we have MC Tech, but do we care?
We don't care.
Don't care. No hair, don't care.
He has hair.
They all have hair.
Yeah, they actually all have
Who am
hair.
I kidding? Sounded cool in my head.
But yeah, this is definitely going a lot better for compLexity than a lot of the previous mage matchups we have seen against Druid. Granted, this is a different style of Druid deck, not the Jade. And also, the Sylvanas came out really big for them. Not only did it match up very well against the Ancient, but specifically getting the 1 and 3 steal there was absolutely huge.
Yeah. So one thing compLexity I don't think thought about was the Wrath plus double trade, because that doesn't play into micro tech at all, and it also cleans off their Ancient of War, quite cleanly.
Yeah, a little bit greedy here, deciding to ping the face, getting a little punished for that decision.
Ooh, Innervate.
Innervate is a very, very good draw for Cloud9, allowing them to keep the Auctioneer chain going. Innervate for Feral Rage, and they're just going to go ahead and Feral Rage. Gaining some armor and clearing off this Ancient. So this game was looking very much like it was going in compLexity's way, but I think that ping to the face may have cost them pretty big.
Yeah, they do draw Kazakus, so they can pick up some pretty good potions here. But they do have to address this Gadgetzan Auctioneer because this is incredibly threatening. But I do think that they probably have the knowledge now that this is not a Jade Druid, because usually that Gadgetzan Auctioneer needs to be saved for that. Could also be, and also, well, I don't know, maybe play double Ancient of War.
Ooh, Arcane Blast is the best possible draw, allowing compLexity to keep applying pressure rather than having to trade off.
Also, they can hold Kazakus for another turn, maybe in hopes of a brand top deck.
All right, let's hear what Cloud9 is going to do in this sticky spot.
I think we have to set it up with the Nourish.
Hold Nourish, right?
Mm-hmm. If we use use that
Is there a
swipe
second?
the board swing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Feral Rage to heal wall growth half of it.
I like that play.
Yeah, let's just take some time and think about something better. Alright, let's do it, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing else.
I'm still trying to figure out what's in his hand. Why would he ping you in the face instead of the 1/1?
Just be Fireball, Frostbolt, or something.
He's already played Frostbolt. He's got Fireball, Torch. There's only like 9 burn in the deck. And Flame and Firelance Portal, I guess. So he's got 14 total
There's 10
burn.
cards left. We're looking for Aviana, Malygos.
And the health,
At least we
right?
got the health, yeah.
Yeah.
Took the armor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. We have one more. So we start with Gadgetzan.
Sketches and
Mana?
excess mana, yeah.
I got the best deals anywhere.
We have an Innervate.
Innervate, nice. Let's play it. The one Markeeper. Nourish. Okay, so if we nourish for cards, we can't forfeit that. No, we
You
could.
can nourish
yeah.
for mana.
Oh, and then play Wrath, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. It cycles more. We have
Are we-
more time to
wait,
find
Are we
out.
gonna die? If we nourish for mana and try and maybe Feral Rage for armor.
Let's play Nourish for mana.
I wonder.
Okay. I think we might have to hero power.
I don't think we can take that risk. I think the chance that we die is not as much as I didn't really count, but I don't think it matters. Like we can't win.
Fireball plus Torch kills us if we don't hero power.
I'm gonna have to wrap here. Let's just
20%
4,
chance.
5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just. I think it's a better chance.
No. You can play Azure Drake next turn, and you get the Wrath next turn and get it every time. Just hero power.
Oh, okay. I mean, the thing is, I think we need Aviana. I think we need Malygos next turn. I don't think we
Get
have
it.
a next turn.
Aviana, Coon, Azure Drake.
Oh, you're saying okay. I see
Yes.
what you mean.
Oh my god.
Oh god, that was huge. Dirty Rat pulling the Aviana. That may just be the game.
Yeah, I did. Their whole plan, their whole game plan
deck
is ruined
is
by
built
that.
around
Their
that
whole
card.
deck. Yeah, now they have to play fair and balanced cards, and a fair and dual draw. Not really anything to work with that. I mean, they can make a 7/7 for free. That's about it.
Really do much here. compLexity has a massive lead in the board, and that was actually there were what? Only 2 minions of the 6 or so that were in Cloud9's hand were crucial to their plan. They needed to keep the
Alex Straza
Well,
and Kuhn, yeah.
Well, Alex Strauss is definitely at least somewhat relevant. So let's say half of the minions were kind of linchpins. So that was a pretty fortuitous situation for compLexity there. After the Sylvanas going well for them earlier. So we've said that this is a tough matchup generally, Druids for mages, but sometimes things just go your way.
Sometimes things just go your way. And let's see what they do. Looks like they're just going to try and build up as big of a board. No, they're going to have to remove some things because they're staring at a lot of
kill
damage.
things. This is a rough spot here. Oh, and found Feral Rage, but what are they living to get at this point? With Aviana gone, I don't see any real win condition remaining for Cloud9.
Yeah, they can just try and remove the board and let their minions do some of the heavy lifting here. But yeah, again, it's just going to be so hard for them to close out the game here, especially with no real way to use those minions to actually win the game with all this removal that compLexity still has in their deck. Granted, compLexity hasn't really drawn into some of their crucial stuff, and they have used Flame Strike, but look at all these minions.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many huge minions on the board here. Cloud9 doesn't have the tools to remove them. They're just 36 life. This is pretty much all but over for Cloud9. compLexity is going to take the win in this pretty tough matchup.
Yeah, mulch drawn. I don't. Well, they could mulch. No. maximum they can take 8 damage off the board, which would leave 5 plus 6, 11. No other way to heal. Yeah, looks like that's it. Alexstrasza would block the same amount of damage because you trade into the 4/5 and then Alexstrasza back up to 15, but you're still dead on board with a ping.
To say nothing of the fact that you can't win either.
Yeah.
This isn't about can I survive another turn. This is about can my deck ever win this game? And I just think the answer is no. But Strifecrow, he's going to play it out. Blood Mage plus Swipe going to clear off some off this board.
They do have to recognize that they're going to take a point of fatigue damage.
That's also true.
I guess the ping, yeah, you'd have to ping anyway.
You mitigate it.
Yeah, you mitigate it. But it gets you closer to losing the game regardless. Well, so this keeps them alive.
They do survive the turn, assuming no cards from compLexity are ever played again.
Actually, they can Volcanic Potion.
Yeah, it's true.
Face.
Yeah,
and that is lethal.
Go
actually.
Face, ping, Volcanic Potion will be lethal with fatigue.
Yeah. So compLexity gonna pull out ahead again now with this Reno Mage, and
now Cloud9 only has their Warlock left. And that is a tough matchup as well against Reno Mage.
Especially this Reno Mage.
Yeah, this Reno Mage deck is built for a very, very value-oriented game. And with Medivh in it and Sylvanas in it, has a lot of tools to mitigate a lot of the ways that the Warlock deck can win.
Yeah. So in a good position now. Usually when you pull ahead like this, you've eliminated the decks that your opponents were trying to use to counter your deck. So compLexity seems like they're in a good spot moving forward. And JJ's feeling that Mage. He's won 3 games in a row now, piling that deck. He's having a lot of fun.
He's been doing some dances, celebrating his potions, everything like that.
The JJ dance.
I love it.
They have gotten some good potions. But we're going to see if compLexity can close out the series in game number 9 right after this. Everybody, welcome back to the Hearthstone Trinity Series presented by ESL and Twitch. We're almost done with day number 2 of week number 1, Kibler. compLexity's on match point now with this Reno Mage deck, and they have 2 other decks remaining, even if that one were to lose. So it's really on Cloud9 to mount a comeback and see if they can finally beat this deck.
Yeah, Cloud9 has just their Warlock deck remaining, and that stands to have an uphill battle against the Reno Mage, though we did just see the Reno Mage take out Druid, which has, so far this week, been a very tough matchup for that deck.
Yeah, a little bit of a different druid and probably one of the ones that's weakest against it, but still a druid nonetheless. And with Cloud9 just having their only deck left, I believe is Warlock. It's Warlock. Oh yeah, it's Warlock. So
whoa, Stranglethorn Tiger already showing up for Cloud9. Maybe they have their tools against the removal of the Reno Mage. It's going to hide in stealth. It's a really interesting inclusion.
It is. It
I
really
wonder.
is.
So I'm trying to just think of the rationale for that. It gives you another medium body that is good with the Faceless Shambler that your opponent cannot remove. You can be guaranteed to have a target for a Faceless Shambler if you use Stranglethorn Tiger. So anyway, let's hear what Cloud9 has to say about their unusual deck and its mulligan.
I like doing a full mull.
If you keep Tiger, though, you lower your odds of getting Mountain Giant and Drake by a small margin, and you like tenfold your odds of getting Mountain Giant into Stranglethorn Tiger. And that's what'll kill people.
I think you should clearly mulligan everything else. Never keep Brand or
But you also want Twilight Drake, so it's not just...
Yeah. You make sure you put...
I mulled.
Did you not mulligan at all? Wait, what? What happened?
I mulled.
Just
full mulled.
slow on spectator mode, man.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Job's done.
I think since we don't have anything on that mana slot, it's pretty strong to keep the Tiger.
Well, the thing is, like, a Mountain Giant and Twilight Drake are both better on that mana slot.
They're not on 5?
No, but it's better to play a 4-drop on turn 5 and that slot too.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Kazakis is better. It's just way stronger. His potion.
Okay.
We got a little bit of an insight into why they chose it, because Mountain Giant into Stranglethorn Tiger just kills people.
It does.
Is what Firebat said. So I guess it's just another good threat that's hard to remove because it's in stealth.
Yeah, I could remove killing people with the Tiger. I'm a fan, I gotta say. I'm already a convert.
Yeah. Gonna go play it, plop it in the deck later on. It doesn't really have the Kibler flair though.
It's true. It's true. I mean, it would require me, to play Reno Lock, which is not really my thing. I do like Tigers though. Tigers are sweet. Not necessarily Stranglethorn Tigers, just like Tigers in real life.
I'm glad you like Tigers.
Just saying.
Sharing your likes and dislikes. What do you don't like?
What don't I like? Lettuce. I actually really don't like lettuce. I won't eat anything with lettuce on it. When we had those sandwiches at the end of the day yesterday, I picked all the lettuce off.
Huh. Did not notice that. Lettuce is kind of just like it's there.
Maybe for you. For me, it's like, oh god, it's lettuce. It's horrible.
Kind of like Earthen Ring Farseers. Earthen Ring Farseers.
They're kind of there.
Yeah, for me, they're like the lettuce of Hearthstone.
Well, I mean, I've played with them. They're not the lettuce of Hearthstone. The lettuce of Hearthstone for me, I'm trying to think of something.
Small Time Buccaneer.
I've played Small Time Buccaneer. I played it in my Jade Rogue deck. Anyway, back to the game. We see JJ getting a little bit of card advantage going with a ping on his Acolyte. Picks up a Doomsayer. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and try to block the 4-mana turn by dropping that Doomsayer after attacking his Acolyte in. So kind of plays a delayed Arcane Intellect that lets him follow up with a Doomsayer, but there is a Spellbreaker for Cloud9.
Yeah, definitely a necessary play because they need to keep the tempo up in this matchup. But compLexity got a handful of minions. Let's see how they're going to maneuver these next couple turns.
Yes, yeah, I like it.
Can I light your fire? Job's done.
It's only bad against Coin Emperor, but what can we do against Coin Emperor?
Like it. I like the tap giant.
Yeah.
Was there any incentive to somehow trying to save your 4/2 from the trade?
How do I shadow?
The only play would be giant coin dirty rat to to taunt it, but that's kind of I don't think so. Yeah.
If you dirty rat, you can kill every single minion pretty much. Well, not every single minion.
That's what I was thinking about.
There's Vendor, Second Rate Bruiser, Reno, Medivh, Water Elemental, Sylvanas that you can't kill.
You want to play giant, so you mean from your 4/4, right? Yeah, from your
the 4/2 on that turn, yeah.
Oh, and you can cash in the value of the 4/2 before it dies to 2/2. I think it's reasonable. I'm not sure. That's what I was just looking.
Bruiser is never a bruiser, one.
Could also be the bruiser. You're right about that one. Save 8 health.
good, right? So,
I like the Bruiser, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Let's say Siphon Swords. What do we do then?
What to do? What to do?
yeah, still Solia.
But it's actually a good argument with the Siphon that he might siphon the Bruiser. He would never siphon the Vendor, right?
You can also ping the Giant if we do
One's
that.
out on me.
When he thinks you're Fireball, and when he will...
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
think
I like it.
Thing.
Yeah, it's actually a really good argument.
Yeah.
You do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally.
Faceless effect. Let's go. Faceless.
Bolt coil.
We lose some ability to kill her on Sylvanas.
There's also the Doomsayer though for that.
True. Killing her on Sylvanas is sketchy against the Doomsayer.
It's hard to overdevelop here.
What is he trying to set up to do? If we remove his minion and develop nothing, Fireball becomes good for him. If we remove his minion with the trade, Fireland's Portal becomes good from him.
Yeah, we get to develop there with that.
How bad is developing Sylvanas and just going face?
No, that's the other thing I was thinking about. Yeah.
Is it
Sylvanas
Flame Strike doesn't beat it?
Like Sylvanas is not something you wait for in this matchup, right? This is Fireland's Portal. He'll kill it, I guess.
Well, when Fireland's Portals and we...
I just like reducing. Yeah. I like the bolt coil because it forces him to fireball ping.
Okay, yeah. Then Peddler after it, generally.
That's an interesting turn. I don't know.
Seems like Firebat's in a little bit of a disagreement on that turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to play around, giving value specifically to the Fireball, but we see that there's actually no Fireball from compLexity, and this Giant is going to be tough for them to deal with.
Yeah, this play ends up being, super solid because that Giant is going to get another attack in regardless of the situation, unless maybe they Impact Solia Firelands and get a Leroy or a Doomguard or a Tundra Rhino.
Boom.
The often forgotten 5-mana
or
charger.
Or a bomb squad and blow up your own face.
Yeah. Yes.
Embrace the power.
All right. Well, he's actually going to point it at the Dark Peddler here. Not going to try and chip away. And he does get. Oh, all right. A Wind Fury minion.
I don't even remember what that minion's called.
It's, I don't know either. It's called the 3/5 Wind Fury guy. Grook Fu Master.
I would have never remembered that.
You could have given me 50 guesses. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've actually even read that card's name before.
You could have given me
like,
You could have given me like multiple choice options with that one in one of the options. And I said,
one dirty rat deserves another. Aviana for compLexity the last game, and now Cloud9 pulls the Reno Jackson. Suddenly, this damage the Giants gotten in matters a lot more.
The rat is dirty. It's like a code word, and they might even be able to steal it, is the thing.
Just rub it in.
Pull out the Reno and take it. It's like a mind control where you also develop a 2/6 and a 3/3.
No big deal. No big deal.
A mind control from the deck.
And now they have the Grook Fu Master.
I think this got to go face, right?
Oh, I mean, I'm hitting for 8. It's just so much damage.
They even have Mini Leroy, aka Stone Tusk Boar.
Yeah.
Just loading up the board.
And yeah, now suddenly compLexity looked to be sitting pretty comfortably. Finally, that Fireball, they can take down that Giant, but it has already done so much damage, and that damage will not be undone.
Yeah, I mean, if they take down the Giant, then they lose because the damage on board will just kill them. They won't be able to trade in enough. They'd have to Fireball ping and then trade both their minions on board into the Dirty Rat.
Details.
Leaving exactly 11 on board with the double attack from the Grook Fu Master, the 3 damage from the Microsoul Tech, and the M-Gang Boss.
Yeah, this game really swung that last turn. No more Reno available. Is there any way out of this for compLexity here?
I think it's a checkmate.
What to do?
No. Second-rate Bruiser Earthring Farseer, Fireball, and then double trades.
How much mana do you have?
I thought
okay, Twitch chat.
Gotcha. I was testing you, Kibler.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
For some reason, I thought we were on turn 10, but
all right. Well, they do find a way out of this, but no Blast Crystal Potion. They have to clear away the taunt, and they have boar control. Stone Tusk Boar coming in for the final point of damage. We are going to game number 10.
Game number 10. Well, we see 2 11-game series today. That's the question. And I think it depends on actually what decks there's left remaining for compLexity. They have what, Priest and...
There is Priest, and I believe their own Warlock are the 2 decks remaining, if I recall correctly.
Okay, well, Priest and Warlock. So could see a Reno Warlock mirror, which even though it's a control matchup, sometimes goes pretty quickly because of how volatile it can be with early game threats, and then of course Leroy combo.
Yeah, if someone's got a giant, the other guy does it. It's like, oh,
well, that's unfortunate.
I'm dead.
Yeah. Or one guy has Emperor, Leroy Faceless, and Powerwhelming.
The other guy
combo you
has, Grook Fu Master or something.
Grook Fu Master, or Stranglethorn Tiger, perhaps. But yeah, Cloud9's made this a little bit more of an interesting series now with that win, and with a little help from Dirty Rat in the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, Dirty Rat has really come up big in the last couple games in this series, and both of those sort of the crucial minions in those decks to keep them around or keep them going, and just you can come out on the board, you can play. Oh, now you're dead.
Now you're dead.
Oh well.
Yeah. But we'll see what the choice is going to be for compLexity here between the 2. And we're actually going to get right into it. So a quick choice, and they go with Priest. So they're going to try and get this matchup, sneak in and win with the Priest, and then save the mirror matchup for last, should they need it. But again, match point for compLexity as they're trying to get their 6th win with the Priest.
Yeah, and this is interesting, just in terms of what the strategy is here. The game count does matter. I'm actually not certain if the game wins or game differential does matter, but anyway, we're going to listen to compLexity's thoughts going into this match.
Oh, you're asking if we throw away 1 or 2? I think I like just the 1 Worm Wrist, and then the other 2.
Yeah, I think 1 is fine.
And the rest goes, right?
Yep.
Not keeping the Twilight? Okay.
No, we run Spellbreaker, right?
Yeah, it's still just a 1-off, but yeah, it's fine.
Every time mouse over your card, you're more likely to win a little bit.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I don't know if that's true, Strafe.
All right, I moused over it about 20 times.
20, that's it. If it makes us win, maybe you should just keep doing it till the rope.
Just rope.
Rope, mouse over the card. I don't know, your wrist might get tired.
It's okay.
I don't think Reno is a good draw on yours in this matchup. That's a good draw.
Oh, wow.
All right. Just make sure we do not throw. We got a good hand. Let's not get excited and screw this up.
Okay.
This is
So
the
basically
time
our
to show
goal-
some composure.
I just want to say our goal is probably to turn 4 Drake, turn 5 tap Giant, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I just gave that out there.
Probably.
Another good card as well.
Oh my god, I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Oh, if he plays nothing, I guess we can brand.
But it's risky to just Powered Pain.
Why would we risk the brand?
Do we Doomsay here?
I think because you have the Mountain Giant too. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Holy smokes.
Oh my god. So what happens if you Doomsayer and then whatever? Then you play Twilight Drake. What do you do on turn 5?
If we can
You can't play
identify the way that we lose with this hand, then
You
I think we
have
can just do
Brand Kazakis
anything
on
else and
7.
then win.
Exactly. So I don't think we want to throw a Brand, right? Brand Kazakis on 7, and we
Yeah.
can make it to turn 7 with this hand. Our hand's so
So
good.
what's the curve that rides out to 7? We have Doomsayer into Twilight Drake, into Mountain Giant, and then...
No, we can't play Mountain Giant if we play Doomsayer.
Yeah, we tap, we tap.
Okay.
Tap.
Okay. But can you play Mountain Giant if you play Doomsayer on 5 for 5 mana or not? You could maybe play it for 5. I'm not sure if it'd be 5 or 6. I know that if you tap here, you can play Giant tap.
It would be 6 mana
play
on
the
turn
Twilight
5.
Drake. Yeah, that's what I thought. So you can play Twilight Drake and then tap Giant. You don't even care about squeezing extra tap because you have Reno too, right? So you squeeze into more tap.
Holy smokes.
Holy smokes. Trying to figure out how they could possibly lose. Well, we'll find out
on the next episode of Cloud9 Comms.
Dun dun dun.
But yeah, that's a good hand.
Yeah, that's a really good hand. And you know they've gotten past the point that the Doomsayer is safe. And now though their Twilight Drake isn't quite as good as it looked. There's now a 2/7 across the board, so it does not actually clear that. So the Twilight Drake, looks like the best play in a lot of situations against Priest in a vacuum on turn 4. But now it's a little bit scarier. Mountain Giant, though, runs the risk of running into a Shadow or Death. And it looks like, yeah, they're recognizing, okay, well, with that buff on the health, the Twilight Drake's not really going to do very much, so they're going to go straight to Mountain Giant.
It's amazing that they were in such a great spot, and now it's looking still in a great spot. I mean, they have so many
good cards,
but it's not as cut and dry as they thought it would have been or hoped it would have been when they were discussing this hand during that last little listen.
All right, so Giant does come down. compLexity, they would love to find a Shadow or Death here. They could potentially dig. They have powered shield. That would also buff the Warmost Agent up to 9 health, which is actually enough to survive a hit from that Mountain Giant.
I must consider.
It's tough because they want to develop a lot of power here, and by powered shielding, they forego that Twilight Drake into Blackwind Corruptor, try and challenge whatever comes out. Feels like the most.
They do have the option to powered shield and then coin out the Drake.
That's true.
And that still gives them 5 mana next turn to play the Corruptor or an Azure Drake. So there are quite a few options still available to them, even if they dig first with the powered shield.
Quickly.
Yeah, and it's clearly a tough decision for compLexity.
Yeah, if they do pick up a Shadow or Death, it would make the decision much easier. Are they going to full trade into this? Okay.
No, they're just going to go ahead and burn it now to set up a little damage of it. But let's hear what Cloud9's plan is to deal with this board.
I want to reset the board. Once we get board control, we just win. So Bruiser Doomsayer seems really good to me.
That seems really good to me too.
How bad does Bruiser Doomsayer get punished by silence?
He gets to keep.
Probably not that bad if he signs in Doomsayer, because only 2 mana. And
it doesn't really punish.
Okay.
What about healing your guy? That's a really good line too. But then you don't play Doomsayer, I guess. Let's see. You trade.
So worst case scenario, if we Bruiser Doomsayer is 5/5 silence, he trades 5/4 into 4/5. No, he trades 3/4/2/7 into 4/5. Then he has a 5/4. Probably trades that into Mountain Giant. No, he doesn't. So
you could trade your Mountain Giant, heal it, and then play Doomsayer as well.
Yeah, I kind of like that more because you get punished by powered shield and showered pain if you play secondary Bruiser, because he can powered shield the 5/4 trade, the Valley trade, and then still pain your Doomsayer. So I think I like heal Doomsayer more.
Yeah,
but
I think
you
you
need to
heal the Giant.
quickly.
Heal the Giant. Yeah, it just makes it more awkward for him to trade into it.
Yeah. His power shield's pretty likely here, right? He curved out 2 into 3 into coin 5, so he didn't have any mana that he floated for powered shield.
He thinks you care, right?
Well, it does feel a lot like an Empress setup.
Yeah, but we don't let him do it.
I agree, I'm just wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants Emperor, so do we maybe draw out of the poster shield? To get closer to Shadow Death?
So what do you want to do here?
I must consider.
Just forward shield, right, on one of our dudes?
Yeah.
3/4?
I think it doesn't matter.
Like the 3/4
Yeah, sure.
Siphon Soul kind of thing.
Again?
I like playing another dude, like the Drake. It's fine as well.
You shouldn't let him do his stuff. It's not good.
So I think we're always 3/3 into 5/4 in Mortal Coiling, but we might second rate Bruiser or something.
So
we
Super
do have a
JJ
faceless
Dragon Priest at the Zagreb Gaming Arena, which is a tournament he won, contained one Twilight Drake. So I imagine the list is copycat of that. That means he plays Draconid Crusher, so be wary of that as a one-up. Double Holy Nova, one Draconid Crusher, one Blackwing Technician.
It's looking to me like the Twilight Guardian, the Twilight Drake is better than the Bruiser, so I think you should just trade first.
I'm either faceless lane or bruising, I think.
But you are.
Do something that makes it so he can't play a 9/9 next turn.
Yeah. So you trade in a 3/3 and a 5/4 and coil it, and then you kill the 4/6, right?
I like the bruiser a lot. It protects the giant.
Do you like protecting the giant as well?
Yeah. This thing is weak to Holy Nova.
I'm not red.
Oh, you kill the 3/6 then? Or Dragonfire Potion is too weak.
There's no Dragonfire Potion.
Why would I kill
I mean, he might have changed the
Because Holy Nova. The reason I don't like this is Holy Nova. That's why I like the Twilight Drake better.
Oh.
Yeah, if you trade the 3/6, you play around Holy Nova better, play into Corruptor. There's already been one Corruptor. There are two Holy Novas in, like, most people's Dragon Priests.
Holy Nova is super standard in this set, yeah. And Holy Nova is pretty bad for you.
One Holy Nova into one Dragonfire, though, because of the...
That's the second power shield.
Yeah, second shield.
Maybe too many cooks in the kitchen for Cloud9. They're having trouble coming to conclusions.
A lot of disagreements, and there is the Holy Nova they were worried about, so their entire board does get cleared. They got 15 life to work with. They have reached that turn 7 they were talking about with Brand Kazakus if they want it.
Still super powerful and still hard for Priest to close out a game against Reno Lock. No real burst. Brand plus Blackwing Corruptor is usually the most you have to sort of play around in that given instance.
Well, in this matchup, a lot of it actually can come down to operative. The ability to take stuff like Leroy, Soulfire, Power Overwhelming with your Draconid operative can give you a bit of additional reach that you don't otherwise have.
And Brand Kazakis looks like it's going to be the play as they had planned from the get-go.
I'm curious to see what potions they're going to take. They have a lot of options. All right, let's see what we're thinking.
Do the sheet for... Oh, God, this potion's so good.
I like
the 5 damage. I like 5 damage for a sheet. Okay, well...
Things have a lot of health.
And we'll be safe.
Yeah, I think safety first, man.
I like 5/5. Okay, since it's roping, I'm just gonna...
6 health. Heal 6 everything.
So quick.
No, we can't handle the brand. It's impossible. Maybe just operative.
You smart car already?
But I'm still feeling the operative, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think going for the pain. I mean, the brand still needs one of the brand synergetic cards for it to punish us, right? I think I like it. That's actually tricky.
Definitely not Fender. I think Paul Furman. Shadow Bolt is also not too bad with a Zoldrak, I guess, but...
Yeah, we'll take the PO. What do you think, Crane?
Yeah, I like the PO, but are we using it?
Probably not, no.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yes, the...
Agent?
I will play a 2/4 and go face.
Yeah.
Are you mocking me?
All right, well, we saw them pick up a little bit of burst there with the Power Overwhelming and a couple of powerful potions for Cloud9. This is a kind of interesting spot. Cloud9 could use that Abyssal Enforcer to clear off the board. It would leave them with just 6 life. There's a stolen card. They know it's not Leroy. Leroy's in their hand. But it does run the risk of getting blown up by Brain Corruptor.
Yeah, which is what we talked about a little bit earlier. will clear the board, though, so something like Power Woman wouldn't be an option for them to find lethal. They can also play it safe and just use the Reno now and just, double trade into the Wormrest Agent, leaving 8 power on the board, but healing back up to 30, which gives them a lot of room to maneuver and a lot of room to use those potions that they got. One of those potions, the 10 mana, is, I think, deal 6 damage to all minions and give all of your minions 6 health.
Oh, is it?
I think
I thought I caught the Mystic Wool there, but
the first one is Mystic Wool. The 5 mana is Mystic Wool, and
ooh, what's going on now? Dirty Rat. Okay, Dirty Rat into Reno.
Brand Dirty Rat.
Yeah, so they actually put some pretty key cards there. The Nether Spread Historian not getting its Battle Cry is a pretty big deal. They go back up to 30. And now a second death picked up. That's not what compLexity is looking for. They really need action, and that's what they lost here. They lost their Battle Cry to draw a card. They lost their Battle Cry to discover. So that Dirty Rat has been real dirty in this match.
Yeah. Can only Shadow or Death their own Draconid Operative. They would have loved to see that earlier when the Mountain Giant was giving them so much trouble, but...
Just priest things.
Just priest things.
You got a card that's good? All right, you can draw it after the thing that's good against is dead.
This is looking like Cloud9 all the way in this matchup. They were able to maneuver their good hand to a favorable position.
Yeah, we heard the talking at the beginning of the game. We just got to figure out, how do we possibly lose? Okay, don't do that.
Yeah.
And they've managed, even the Twilight Drake that they're so excited to have in their opening hand is just still waiting.
Quickly.
Yep. It's one of the most powerful cards against Priest, and they haven't found time to play it. Actually, just trying to figure out how to trade off the board here. They're going to have to, utilize this board to victory here.
All right, well, this could set up for a very powerful Abyssal Enforcer from Cloud9. The Reno can attack in. Ooh, Shadow Flame too, so all kinds of powerful tools. Let's see how Cloud9 is going to use them.
Well, Abyssal plays into Death. He most likely has Death in his hand. We could also develop 2 Twilight Drakes if we wanted. And take a value trade.
Because if he deaths,
You want a Shadow Flame over Abyssal? And
I like Abyssal way more because.
I like playing Twilight Drake Shadow Flame more than Abyssal because 2 deaths are remaining and the Twilight Drake's not going anywhere.
Shadow Flame is just a better card, but okay. Shadow Flame is good no matter what. Abyssal is only good here.
Well, Reno's dying anyway is the biggest thing, and we develop an unkillable minion unless he has like silence.
The tempo of a 4/9 is so much better than the tempo of a 6/6.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, let's play the 3/6 and pass. We definitely keep the Drake for the second Nether Spite, second operative stuff.
Dude, what the?
Death?
Yeah, he's got 2 deaths in his hand and like a Shadowward Pain. And,
That's it.
He has a card generated from Draconid Operative as well.
What could that be?
Should we just? I like Kazakus Potion, the 5 mana polymorph it and play Faceless on your Twilight Drake. That's up for 10.
Don't use the Faceless. Don't use the Faceless. It could be Twisting, yeah.
Oh, you have Twisting. Okay.
Do not play the Faceless. I do think Kazakus Potion being a 5/5 is not spectacular. What about just Emperor here?
No, I was thinking about Emperor, but then I thought about it a bit more. The potion's like really good because it pressures his face, and it kind of forces him to do something.
The potions are best answer against Ragnaros right now, which is a common tech in Dragon Priest.
All right, let me tap first. Let me tap first.
Kazakus Potion for 10 mana does 8 damage.
I'm tapping first.
Okay, yeah. That's reasonable.
Yeah, and play your Peddler after.
Yeah.
Potion.
Okay.
That's a good call about Twisting that over there. I was just thinking there's no way he ever clears that board, after he.
There's not a lot of ways he does it, but.
And then you potion to +6 and you have 2 4 15s, but yeah.
I think this is a good enough board to get the potion +6 and just carry.
Yeah.
Even tougher spot now for compLexity.
Not getting better.
Not getting better, no. That's why Drake, as Firebat mentioned, pretty unkillable.
Yep.
In this matchup, unless they get Draconid Operative into something that can kill it. I don't know, a Siphon Soul Banus, who knows?
But yeah, Cloud9 with kind of embarrassment of riches. There's the Power of Overwhelming, which completes the full 20 damage burst combo with the Leroy plus Faceless. They have the Emperor to discount as well. They can push for 6 right now if they so chose, and play the Emperor, life tap, set that up for next turn.
Shadow Bolt even.
Yeah, it's true. Well, they couldn't life tap then, but yes, they can Shadow Bolt this, push 6. It essentially sets up a unstoppable lethal, or very close.
Yeah, they'd have to have a taunt. And, well, they do have Shadow Bolt Death to take out the Emperor. So, yeah, seems like Cloud9 just, again, trying to make sure that they don't screw up a pretty unlosable situation.
Yeah. This
is
is really
close their eyes and click buttons.
Yeah, it's been their game to lose, and they're not doing that. Doesn't look like it. Yep, going with Emperor plus Shadow Bolt, pushing 6 to the face, complexity down to 22. 20 points of burst with that combo in Cloud9's hand. And now complexity has so many angles they need to defend themselves from, and that will not do it.
No.
This really goes to show, again, the dynamic of this matchup. So many of the Priest cards are pretty low impact when you get to this stage of the game. You really need to have significant pressure early and be able to overwhelm the Reno lock deck before they're able to find their powerful cards, or else you're just going to get overpowered by all their value cards. Oh, there's the Tiger.
There's the Tiger.
I'm going to give this game to Stranglethorn Tiger. It was all him.
But that is going to be lethal damage from Cloud9. You know what, Kibler?
We're going to Game 11.
Another Game 11. 2 Game 11s in week number 1 here. And lots of Hearthstone today.
Yeah.
Lots of Trinity Series.
I mean, we were saying that as you get down to the final games, in many cases, those are going to tend to be kind of lopsided because you have decks that are, primed to beat another, and yet we've seen many of those underdogs take the win, and now it's going to come down to the mirror match.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the final match, and while we let the teams have a moment to prepare, we're going to go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere, guys. The conclusion to the final match of the day right after this. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hearthstone Trinity Series presented by ESL and Twitch. And Brian Kibler, it's time. It's time for the last game of the day. We made it all the way. It's guaranteed to be the last match, game number 11 of compLexity versus Cloud9.
Yeah, it's been a very long day. It had back-to-back matches that have gone the stretch 11 games, mostly control decks too.
Yeah.
Because of the strategy the teams have generally agreed on, it seems, to ban out the aggressive decks, Shaman, Rogue, and Warrior. Most of these are pretty long clashes, so it's been an epic day so far.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad we have our Sapcaster's ability throughout the matches.
Shut up at some point.
Yeah, to give us a little bit of a break on this analysis, because even for the players, it's probably exhausting playing this many matches at this high of a level. So let's get into it. The final match comes down to a Reno Warlock mirror. And, these ones can be incredibly one-sided if one of the Reno Warlocks have threats and the other doesn't. But we can already see Stranglethorn Tiger, Mountain Giant, and then on the other side, Twilight Drake, Mountain Giant. Both these teams have threats, so we should have a good old-fashioned,
smash off.
Smash off, yeah. I just hear the sound playing in my head over and over again of the sound when an 8 damage minion or more attacks in the face. It just gives that huge, that huge crash.
Yeah, it is. We're gonna hear that a lot, I think, this match, because there are a lot of big minions flowing around. Speaking of big minions, the Mountain Giant in both opening hands, and then Cloud9 with that tech Stranglethorn Tiger that Firebet mentioned. You just play Giant turn 4, Stranglethorn Tiger turn 5, then just kill them. And even with the Sylvanas to back it up, so lots of things that are good in that big minion clash.
They're also going first, which means that their Mountain Giant, if they can fit in the taps, will come out on turn 4, which would match up against perhaps a coin Twilight Drake.
Faceless Shambler picked up by compLexity too, that can make their early Giant even more threatening, though Cloud9 does have their own that can potentially make the trade with to prevent that.
Yes.
But we're going to see, I imagine, the typical early turns of Warlock versus Warlock, which is life tap into life tap into life tap into life tap.
Yes.
Though compLexity taking their time, we have heard players and teams discussing the importance of not giving away information, taking your time on your turn to avoid giving off tells as to what you have. But Cloud9 wasting no time. Like we said, it's been a long day. They're just going to go ahead and life tap.
Yeah. Doomsayer can make things interesting for compLexity, because when you're on the coin, sometimes a Doomsayer on 3 can interrupt your opponent's turn 4, whether it's Mountain Giant or Twilight Drake, and allow you to be the first to get a threat on the board. So let's go and see if compLexity is planning anything tricky for this turn.
But honestly, we can still go coin Drake into Shambler into Giant. The problem is Blast Crystal, but Blast Crystal on 4?
I think it's better to go with the
Doomsayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it to Doomsayer more. Like, what do you do with the Giant if you coin Twilight?
Yeah, and even with coin, then we Shambler, but even coin Twilight, then if they Doomsayer, right? But I like just Doomsayer here as well. And I don't like the line where you tap coin Doomsayer here.
Yeah, I like this.
Just the Doomsayer, right?
Yeah, that's a Doomsayer. That's good.
Spellbreaker, let's go.
I think it's just pass.
Yeah, you can't tap here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giant, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
It's always
the Drake into tap Giant. It's kind of more in like.
Yeah, but we have the Shambler.
Yeah.
This is
Well, that's a good draw.
Over Giant.
Tiger into Sylvanas.
Tiger into Sylvanas. Giant sets up for Giant to Sylvanas too, and you have the Peddler for it.
Yeah, I think I like the Giant Peddler better this turn.
You don't care if he trades an 8/8 into the 2/2, right? That's not a thing.
So many.
He's never going to do that. You're scared of Coin Siphon Soul and Big Game Hunter.
Holy moly.
Do you coin Siphon first?
It runs into their Siphon.
But it also pushes 8, and we have Leroy in the hand.
Also pushes, yeah. Uses coin, but honestly, we can go tap Twilight next turn.
Yeah.
Just think a bit and then do it. I think it's better.
I would really like to go for the Siphon as well. The more that I look at it,
The Shambler
will have
It
And
also
if he
puts
doesn't have
8.
Siphon, it's like insane, right?
Yeah.
Pushes 8, yeah. Yeah.
We're afraid of Coin Siphon. Oh, look, here's Coin Siphon.
Yeah. And complexity, again, we talked about it earlier, even though
there's a Siphon of their own.
Even though this matchup is sort of a two control decks going at it, it ramps up really quickly because both decks are playing big threats early, and they both have, combo finishes of complexity, realizing that 8 damage really matters because they have Leroy in the hand to finish. And with this Siphon Soul, they're just going to be able to, tap and then develop another big threat with Twilight Drake that won't be able to be immediately answered, and will still set up for them to go with the Faceless Shambler.
Yeah, definitely a strong position for complexity, ahead in life and able to develop a big threat where Cloud9 was forced to react. Though Cloud9 does have that Sylvanas in hand, which they were mentioning is clearly very powerful in the matchup. They even have Power Overwhelming if they want to go for the steal right away.
Which might just be the best option since they're already super low, and it serves many purposes. Denies Faceless Shambler. Usually the Sylvanas is used to steal the big threats later on, but the big threats are sort of out of the way now, so definitely like this, and this will be a huge swing for Cloud9.
One key element of this, if they did choose to use the Power Overwhelming, they lose Power Overwhelming for their combo. They aren't able to do the Leroy plus Faceless plus Power Overwhelming combo, but now complexity with that Faceless Shambler can take advantage of the fact that their Twilight Drake lived through the turn.
Yeah, and they can also start keep pushing damage to try and continue being the aggressors in the matchup, bringing them down to 17 with a whopping 9 burn damage in the hand that can come on turn 9. But let's go ahead and take a listen into complexity, as it looks like they got a tough turn ahead of them.
I would Peddler, get the 1-drop, play the 1-drop, Argos, and trade into Sylvanas.
Yeah, I think that's the best.
Okay, so where?
Oh,
What did you get? I don't see it.
Angry Chicken, Stone Tusk, White Walker.
White Walker, I guess?
Yeah, White Walker. And then play the Argus and White Walker and trade to his furnace. And buff
what do I
Peddler
buff?
up. Peddler, right?
Peddler and the Drake.
Yeah, and kill us.
Yeah.
Why do you fall? Like steel for iron.
And now no stun prey.
Worst one.
It's not that big of a deal here. The only one that matters is 5/5, really. All the other 3 are
And also Demon Wrath, Coil, times 2, and cycle them.
What do we develop behind either of these?
Demon Wrath, Coil.
We get to save a 1/1, so we develop a 1/1 with the Demon Wrath double coil, and then we could play a 3/3. So that's the most development on the board, and we get to cycle 2 coils. Try to find combo faster. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I think it's better than Hellfire.
Me too. Do you ever consider, no, never mind. I think she got
Do you
face.
heal your Voidwalker?
I think I'd heal face because of Abyssal Enforcer and Hellfire. Like, we know that we don't have combo. We know we don't have combo, whereas we're not sure whether he has combo. So I think, it's better for us to not Hellfire, right? Because we don't want to trade life right now. And also, yeah, of course, we get the double. It's just, this is way better because we also get to keep our 1/1.
I think it's bad. I think you really need to go for the taps.
What do we do after the tap?
Probably just Vendor still.
Yeah, I can
Guys,
see that.
We have so much good stuff. We have to Kazakhstan.
I really feel like we have to taboos this and we have like almost nothing.
I agree.
Okay, let's tap. And then we just Vendor, right?
Almost out of time.
Yeah, I guess it's still Vendor.
I would just Vendor. This is insane. If they don't have it, we are definitely ahead now.
We have, I mean, if we have time. to play those two next turn. It's insane.
He has to actually respect it.
Tiger, Shadowbolt trade, Tiger?
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, Shadowbolt trade Tiger.
Well, I don't like I like second rate Bruiser over Tiger because I want to play Tiger in a situation where we threaten massive burst.
All right, sure, that's fine. I agree with that actually.
Okay.
I mean, we're not saving a taunt to protect ourselves against the combo, but we just drew Shambler, so we have 2 taunts anyway. Yeah. So I think it's like 1 less stats. That's it.
And we don't want to tap.
You can't tap.
Yeah, you can't tap.
Well, we don't have to Shadowbolt, but.
Oh yeah. Well, also you could play MC Tech and tap. Is that better?
I don't think so. I think removing his minion is stronger. If we play MC Tech, we start playing into MC Tech.
And I agree. And also the problem is you're gonna get Hellfire, right?
I haven't seen MC Tech yet when browsing through Crane's.
He's been tapping, so his chance of getting Abyssal Enforcer is not that low. Like, he didn't have it last turn, but he can still have Abyssal Enforcer this turn. So MC Tech plays too much into it.
He likes whatever he's about to play.
We take a 10.
I think we still don't want to tap, right?
I don't
see it.
Take a 10. We do overdraw if we do it. I calculate. So we can draw 3, freeze 3, gain 10 armor.
Gain 10 armor.
Yeah, gain 10.
Freeze. You want the armor? Freezing is kind of like gaining health.
The armor is better.
Okay. And then I can draw 3, deal 8, or give 6 health. I think it's deal 8.
Deal 8, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll take another 10, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This one was pretty bad. 3 minions, all sheep, 6 health. Maybe it's all sheep.
I would take the minions still. You can still scramble.
Yeah, also takes minions.
Yeah.
Okay, YOLO. And I can take the health or the 6 damage. Or freeze.
This health, right?
I think
6 damage.
6 damage, maybe?
6 damage, 6 damage.
I take the 6 damage. And I can't tap because we had 9 cards now.
Yeah, I like it.
Like if I tap, we had 10. Okay, I can.
Yeah, some pretty quick thinking there for compLexity. All seem to come to a decision relatively quickly. Good teamwork from them.
Yeah, a lot of big, powerful potion options, and they got some good ones.
Yeah, deal 6 damage and summon 3 friendly minions have died. Keep in mind they have played Doomsayer.
Right, that's a pretty big risk. It does, though at the same time, while it does run the risk of summoning a Doomsayer and you don't get value from the potion, the Doomsayer in play, especially after an AoE effect, is going to be very difficult for your opponent to remove. So that can put them in a really rough spot in terms of not being able to actually play the board.
Yeah. And their second potion, of course, incredibly reactive. It's a deal 8 damage, gain 10 armor, so it could get them out of range of things and could be used to deal with a threat. But the threat remaining is Stranglethorn Tiger.
Well, the gain armor is actually quite relevant in the matchup because of the combo. It also can allow you, if you are able to establish a board with Jiraxxus at any point, being able to armor up means that if you have a taunt and you're not going to die to combo, you can get yourself out of range of it, which is a very big deal.
Yeah. All right, so this is the turn that Cloud9 is going to go for a big swing, but that Kazakus potion waiting in the wings.
Yeah, Cloud9 recognizing, okay, you have tons of long game value with these potions. We have to just try and hope that your potions may not be good against this board, but unfortunately for them, there definitely is that possibility. compLexity trading in before playing the Kazakus potion wants to minimize the chance of getting that Doomsayer. And we will see AoE plus resummon. Oh, they get a Giant and a Brand.
Not bad.
That is pretty strong.
One of the best outcomes, I feel, from that Kazakus potion, because they did have, a few other smaller minions as well. Twilight Drake would have come back as a 4-1. They had the Doomsayer, so definitely a solid potion from them. Oh, here comes the Dirty Rat.
Yeah, what are we going to see? Oh, it's Jiraxxus. That's a big fella.
Yeah, especially since Jiraxxus usually isn't a minion that you can play safely a lot of times in Reno Mirrors.
Oh, no! And the actual worst minion from the Mind Control tech. We see opposite reactions from the two players as Tide sort of throws up his hand in disgust, and Crane gives us a little thumbs up.
Let's go ahead and listen into Cloud9 to hear how sad they are after that.
Yeah, Blasting Crystal, Moon Giant.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news here is Jiraxxus means maybe no combo.
Okay, that's true.
Because all of the information that
And they also didn't play us deck immediately against us. They played Priest instead.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I mean, I think you'd play Priest anyway to gather information on our deck.
And also Baby Ray Jiraxxus was probably the worst Dirty Rat, because
it's a useless card. Now.
Yeah, you can't play it.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Why don't we just Hellfire Shambler?
I like Hellfire Shambler.
What about Hellfire and Para?
I think the Shambler,
Shambler looks nice, but
he needs to twisting, right? He needs to twisting, and he can't follow that up. So then we just go Emperor.
Yeah, but he needs to twisting anyways.
I think the Crane has a point. The Emperor is maybe too very. The Shambler is also super situational, right?
I really like the Hellfire.
Yeah, we can Shambler. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Do we tap?
I think we tap,
take
right?
3 with 16, we take 2 more.
Yeah, and we have a super taunt. And we have a mega taunt.
Yeah, but then we need to heal next turn. That's like the thing I have to go
we have first, yeah, and it's fine. Just tap first. Hellfire. Trade.
Well, I Chamber first.
Yeah, that should be cool. Yeah, this should be game. We should be so far ahead now. Oh, this would be so awesome.
I mean, there's still like damage all-ins over some turns, but yeah. I mean, we're in a good spot. That's we agree on this.
Okay.
6, 7, 8.
Well,
it's either Hellfire Doomsayer or Refreshment Vendor Doomsayer.
Does he use Coil yet? No, right?
No, he has not used Coil.
Oh.
I wonder.
He has Reno in his hand. It's the far left card.
Could also Faceless Shambler Doomsayer. I mean, we're not really using Faceless Shambler anymore.
There's no good targets, huh?
He has already used Siphon Soul. Maybe he doesn't run Blast Crystal. Could go off, I guess. And it at least buys us health and buys us time to try and find twisting. We got 9 cards left, so 11% chance to hit the twisting.
Yeah, it's not like Refreshment Vendor contributes to the board because it's never getting through the 312 to trade.
It's not a problem, but how do we do it?
With the deal 8, right?
Yeah, I think the Kazakus potion.
It's the only way, right? It's the only way.
Yeah.
What are the Demon Wrath? How bad is the Demon Wrath? Let's check.
Yep, we can't do it with Demon Wrath.
Yeah.
I already checked the Demon Wrath.
Yeah, 10 mana potion is fine.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, it costs 10 mana, right? It's not.
And we get also the armor. Maybe you can even go for Jirac. I had some bottom.
For what, Jirax? Yeah, I mean, we can go for the Emperor without the heal, maybe, like even with a tap or whatever.
He's at 24.
Wait, where are you Hellfiring?
Wait, what are you doing?
Spellbreaker Refreshment Vendor.
Yeah, Spellbreaker. Why are you Hellfiring? I'm not sure, but...
Yeah, I agree.
And this tap was very hastily.
Your magic
I think we could have thought more about that, but...
Well, we're never not tapping there, 100%.
Funnel cake spear.
Maybe starting to get a little bit on edge.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long day, a long series.
A long day in a game that looks like is going downhill, or has been going downhill pretty quickly for them.
This has been bad for a while.
Yeah.
and compLexity had an excellent start, but Cloud9 was clawing back into it, though that I think the dirty right into the Jiraxxus kind of threw things in their spirit the wrong way.
Sealed the deal.
Yeah. You know, they haven't seen their own Kazakus. They have not seen enough pieces to actually piece together their own combo. They're very close, but they're too far behind on the board to really spend a turn casting Emperor Thaurissan. compLexity just has them really outmatched on every axis right now in this game.
Yeah, now compLexity doesn't have the full combo. They really only have one piece of the combo, but they have so many tools, including Reno Jackson, to stall the game even longer. for them to be able to piece together. And they're so far ahead on board, on resources, on everything.
That Jiraxis in play has just been absolutely brutal. You know, setting up the Faceless Shambler, and it's just survived so much damage. I think that Cloud9 may be considering trading into the Emperor this turn, Hellfiring, playing their Reno, and Jiraxis will just still live. He's just so huge.
Unfortunate.
It is not a good situation for Cloud9.
Ty's even mentioned it earlier. He said, you know, this is a baby rage moment. it's even more so the worst card to pull out of their deck.
Yeah, because it would just be sitting dead in the hand.
Yeah, because it's almost unplayable in this matchup unless, you know, combo pieces are used, you know, early on in the game.
Yeah, and compLexity now with a huge hand, mostly reduced by Emperor Thaurissan. Let's hear what they're going to do with it.
No, I like the Shadow Bolt.
Yeah, I like the Shadow Bolt as well.
Yeah, I like it.
I wonder.
He doesn't have Siphon, he doesn't have Blast Crystal, and he already used Sylvanas. It's already this board, I mean, he has to play into it. He can't really, or Twisting Netherite, right? So...
We can't beat Soulfire anyway. Yeah, we're always tapping.
Okay, I guess we tap.
And the question becomes, do we want to play around combo or not? So he's...
Oh, I like Twisting here. I like the way my read is. I don't think he has too many more minions that are big threats.
True.
And this does 9 more damage. Like I don't think he can develop 9 damage next turn. And then we have a good shot at playing Brand Kazakis, right? Only 4 more cards, and if we tap again, we can make it to 50-50. Now, if we tap again, we're gonna die to combo. But you know, we don't always have to tap again either. We can just
minions remaining. They're like 100%. They're like in-game boss.
Yeah, even Solomon is killed.
Pretty weak stuff.
Combo. I think maybe we just can't beat combo, but I still think we have to clear this to buy us time to play Brand Kazakis, right?
I think he's got to have combo. He's passing with so many cards in his hand.
Do you see any way we can beat combo?
I mean, we got to figure it out.
Okay.
But I don't know if you want to do that.
The Reno is already so cheap. I kind of like the 3 minions.
Yeah, I would do so. I think it's good.
So
It's
what
more
does he
damage
want to
on
Shadow Flame?
So many.
What
I mean, what does even Shadow Flame get?
He still has Abyssal, by the way.
His Emperor.
Yeah, but it's not good against this board, right?
Yeah.
The imp gang boss will always sneak in.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I just like it. He knows every turn, right, that we have 5 cards left and we will have the combo eventually.
So 7, 8, 9 damage in the field.
You know, we could clear Shadow Flame, possible, but then you know, PO Shadow Flame. But then we don't.
We're losing in
with
fatigue
combo.
currently.
Yeah, but they lost their Draxus, and we can win with.
We still have
potions.
yeah.
They still have twist. They have a lot of removals. The thing, so I don't know if we win potions either.
So you want to Leroy Shadow Flame or what?
I think it's close between trying Shadow Flame and win the fatigue, or just the die to combo. And what do we do?
Well, let's try and pick apart what the heck could be in his hand. So
Big Game Hunter, Mistress.
I think we need to tap.
You don't like
what are we tapping for?
Tap for Kazakis. If you get Kazakis, Brand Kazakis. Otherwise, you need to. Oh man, I don't know.
No, don't tap.
We don't have it.
Okay, I don't know.
I like Twilight Jacob.
Okay. So yeah, basically, okay, this makes sense. So this is just we're just dead
if he has combo, and if he doesn't, we win.
We can't.
Is it win? But I don't know. But yeah, I think I don't like playing on combo too much. It's just so hard.
Yes.
To be honest, I think we can just Sylvanas Shadow Flame tap. Like, what does he do?
I wonder.
What do you think?
Could also Reno Shadow Flame into Modcoil. Oh no.
What about trade the Bruiser Mortal Coil tap Reno face? Seems kind of weird. I like the Sylvanas Shadowflame more.
Yeah, but you tap first, right?
Yeah.
Almost out of time.
I have no time for games.
He wants to go for Kazakus at some point, yeah. And his combo is never more than 20. Yeah.
Hopefully we can find a non-Leroy turret to Shadowflame. Brand Kazakus shot. Is that possible?
We can brand Kazakis.
Or
Shadowflame and
if
get
we
the
get
AoE
one
off
mana
Kazakis.
potion, if we get a 1 mana potion for 2, we can Shadowflame Kazakus and clear with the 1 mana potion, and then
And
we
then
still
top deck Faceless for lethal.
Yeah, I like
Is
that.
this his last taunt unless he has Sun Fury plus another?
Play the 1 mana potion before
Yeah.
the 10 mana potion, or whatever other potion.
Well, we might just
One
go
for-
triple 1. I mean, he still has Reno though, right?
I think we're going +2 health to minions.
I would have to agree, yeah. And summon. Maybe we'll get something.
Summon, yeah, summon. Hopefully we get a target.
And then
I like taking 10. I like taking 10.
Has to be
He's
10.
gonna have Reno. He has Reno.
We're not going for. Oh yeah, okay.
It has to be 10.
We need to
Summon an 8/8.
8/8. 3.
Summon 3 minions.
Hopefully don't get Doomsayer.
Yeah. And then we play the 1 mana potion. And then evaluate. Do we power bombing Shadowflame?
PPO Shadowflame.
PO Shadowflame, yeah.
Yeah.
We should have probably done it on the Brian. Brian's a liability of Leroy in our hand. Give him no upside.
Okay.
Oh, he does it. We just didn't have it in time.
He didn't have the Faceless.
Well, I think that was actually a pretty good job today, huh?
Yeah. Good job, boys. Nice series.
Outplayed, bro.
Nice.
Outplay. We had a really good hand. But yeah, I think we played good today. I think we played really good.
Alrighty, well, you can hear from themselves. Good job, boys.
I think they played good too.
Yeah, me too. Me too, Kibler. A nice series overall. So that means compLexity takes it over Cloud9 6-5. Another 6-5 series, another full game series. And that one coming down to a pretty intense Reno Lock matchup. There was actually, maybe an opportunity for Cloud9 to win if Reno wasn't in the hand and if Baseless Manipulator was their next card.
Yeah, I mean, that was really a crazy game on both sides, really well maneuvered. I loved hearing the insights of those players. You heard Firebat saying, okay, well, what's possibly in their hand, trying to evaluate what are all the things that compLexity do in their turn. But in the end, it was compLexity who came out on top. They really rode that Reno Mage deck. We see the match score there. 3 wins with the Reno Mage, 1 with Warrior, 1 Druid, and 1 with the Warlock to clinch it.
A unique Reno Mage to boot is that it had a couple of tech choices that aren't necessarily found in most. It had Flame Lance, Sylvanas, the Medivh, which is a pretty cool card. One of your favorites, I know.
I'm a big fan.
I know, Kibler, I know. But definitely a solid performance from compLexity. And compLexity, maybe not some of the favorites to come into this because they aren't as flashy of a team as, say, G2, who had a monster year in 2016, or, say, Alliance, who are super hyped going into the year. But they're definitely, some of the most well-respected players and now proving themselves in the first match here.
Yeah, and we heard from their comms there. They worked really well together. Earlier in the day, I think they were a little bit more quiet, and but toward the end, there's a lot of collaboration between the players, and combining their insights to find the best play every time.
All right, well, we do have an interview ready with one of the players from the winning team. It's Crane. Hey, man, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
All right, first of all, how do you deal sometimes with JJ's excitement when he plays Kazakus?
I just enjoy it. It's just nice.
It's incredible. All right, what are your thoughts on the format after playing a full 11 game set using this 9-deck last year standing format? Did you guys enjoy it today?
I love this type of format because you really have to think outside of the box. You can't just figure out what the best decks are just by playing ladder. So yeah, it's really interesting, and I think we're already seeing a lot of innovative stuff, right? And deck selections and tech cards. It's really good.
If you had to do sort of today over again, would you have made any different decisions, like whether it would be deck choices or decks that you queued up when you think you shouldn't have? Any regrets in that regard?
I haven't analyzed all the deck pick orders, but I don't think so. I think maybe if I look at all the games, yeah, there will be definitely like some plays that I maybe would do differently, but I don't think it was. It's not like I know exactly, oh, that turn we messed up or something. So I was overall really happy with how we played, but maybe some of the early turns against the Pirate Warrior with the Reno Mage, for example, I wasn't entirely sure if we should have maybe, we weren't sure if we should coin ping, if we should somehow play around the 3/3 Pirate, right?
Were there any particular decks or card choices that really stood out to you as surprising from the event?
Well, I mean, that's definitely Tempo Storm who gets that award, right? With the 6/6 charge if the other guys have 6 cards in the hand. I don't know, I think the picks, right?
The Hog Rider.
The 3 cards, the Hogs.
Leather-clad Hog Rider, I think that one is.
Yeah.
And the combo Druid deck, right? So, yeah, cool stuff. But those were the highlights, I think, Tempo Storm's lineup.
All right, well, congratulations once again, man. It was a solid win from you guys over Cloud9, and we look forward to seeing you guys play again in next week's matches.
Thanks.
All right, well, the first week is in the books, Kibler, and I think it's been a pretty fantastic one. But let's go ahead and take a look at the standings after one full week of competition. Every team's played once. G2, Temple Storm, Luminosity, compLexity sit on the upper half, while Cloud9, Team Liquid, Virtus Pro, and Alliance sit on the bottom half. But Cloud9 and Team Liquid put up the best fights out of those, and it seems like Alliance has the most work cut out for them as we move forward into the new weeks of competition.
Yeah, we look at week 2, we'll see Alliance versus compLexity, Luminosity versus Tempo Storm, G2 versus Virtus Pro, and then Cloud9 versus Team Liquid. Then moving on, of course, to the rest of the series. We got 7 weeks of this, so lots of opportunities for people to come out with cool decks and interesting strategies.
Yeah, I think Luminosity versus Tempo Storm should be one of the highlight matches for the beginning of next week because of, they're both on the top side of the bracket, and they both probably had some of the most interesting deck choices, I think.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing if someone does find a Hunter deck they want to bring. I was a bit disappointed to see that every single team chose to sort of self-ban their Hunter, and Rexar did not get a chance to hunt at all. Who knows, though? We heard a number of players talking about how they've got some ideas moving forward, seeing how the metagame shaped up this week.
Yeah. But, Brian Kibler, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me and us for week number 1. Do you have any words that you'd like to give to the viewers out there before we close it out?
And I just think I had a blast doing commentary of this event, watching and seeing insight into the player's thought process. And this is the sort of thing that has a lot of opportunity to evolve week to week from a metagame perspective. As the player said, it's nothing like ladder. You know that you have more control over what you're going to run into, and I think that we'll see some really interesting stuff in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, it should be cool. It should only get better for the weeks to come. But it's been a fantastic week 1. We want to thank everybody that's tuned in over the course of these 2 days, and we hope you guys had as much fun as we did. We do want to also give a big shout out to ESL and Twitch for putting on the event, and we hope for great weeks to come as we have 6 regular season weeks. But once again, thanks to everybody, from myself, from everybody here at the production studio. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.